me the credit card for Circuit City and was like, hey, go buy whatever you want because my VHS player stopped working. So I'm like, okay. And I went and got a DVD player, and Gladiator was like one of the first movies I bought. I had like
they had the 4-disc one, I think, and it was 3 discs basically saying that.
Sporking fact.
Remember back in like the 90s when like CD players were like $500 for no reason?
Oh, yeah,
Dude,
man.
I remember. Do you remember?
Yeah.
What did you say, Australian?
I said I remember. Do you remember?
Remember? Do
Did
you
anybody have a
remember?
gateway computer? You know,
I did.
the
One
cow?
that
Yes.
came in the cow. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, a
Yep.
girl I lived with did. You know what also is best is
Yeah,
my
me
next door
too, my
neighbors.
mom.
My next door
you know what
neighbors.
else came in a cow?
Well, my next door neighbors always thought they had better stuff than me. So we got a VHS when it first came out, and they're like, "Oh, we got Betamax, and you're such a loser." Blah blah blah. What happened to Betamax? Then we got like a DVD player, and they got a laser disc. Oh man, they were always losers. Let's start the show.
Did you get a
Say it.
Did you get an HD DVD player and they got a Blu-ray?
Yeah.
Again with like the 60 seconds.
Dude, 60 seconds, baby.
Go get a cup of water and come
Jacob
back.
better not interrupt my part.
He does. He doesn't know yet. He's still new.
It feels weird when we don't do the middle one.
You missed your part, Jacob.
Autumn. I almost forgot what I did.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Moment of silence.
For those that have fallen during the intro?
I guess
Yeah.
so. That was
It was a long enough one, so.
just know all these choices were made by Culture Casino, who doesn't come on the show anymore.
You know, come on the show.
Show
Look,
started
it's
yet?
George.
George.
Oh, look, Toxic over to the left. He never shows up anymore.
Yeah, remember that guy?
Yeah, he's still great.
Tom?
Tom, I love Tom. Please come
Remember
back.
Culture? Remember when he used to show up on the show?
All right. Welcome, everybody. Oh, crap. I did it. I boomered. Shit. Welcome, everybody. It's Saturday night. It is the dump. It is on the East Coast right now. For me, it's 8:31, and I'm glad you're all here tonight. I didn't know why I did that, but I did it anyways. So we have a great guest tonight. Not a special guest as he believes he is. He is not special.
Hey.
You have to have a certain amount of subs to be special on my channel.
Strong agreed.
But he is.
Taking
He's.
shots at me for.
Some people think he's special, but that's a different story altogether. It's Brahmabull, everybody.
Oh, you're talking about him.
My mom says I'm special. My wife says I'm a dick for coming on yet another stream. So
Yeah. So
it kind of evens out to just a guest, I guess.
So we have that in common. Okay, I like that.
Yes,
I like that. All right,
we do
well,
have
welcome.
that in common.
Doesn't
Let
this
him-
happen
Thank
you.
every? Doesn't it happen every stream?
Yeah, she's not a big fan of the YouTube.
Yeah, my wife isn't either.
You know what you got to do? You got to include her.
Yeah, my wife doesn't like
She is
anything we
not
talk about.
interested in that.
No,
Yeah,
you got to.
maybe our wives should get to know each other then.
Maybe we should
Yeah.
do a couple movies with Mad.
Okay, something good, and she probably would do that.
I don't think you've ever seen movies with
Have
Mad.
you seen a suburban? Have you seen a Serbian film?
Yeah,
Okay, it's one of those. It's one of those.
Matt
I
doesn't
did
do
see.
good movies.
I did see Creed 2 finally.
The second one, not the new one. It just came out this week.
No, I don't ever see anything that just comes out this
No,
week.
he's always one prequel
Yeah.
behind, like one
yeah.
sequel behind. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did anybody see The Last Jedi yet? I'm going to see it tomorrow. I heard it was
Oh yeah,
good.
did you hear about that movie?
Yeah, I heard it was good.
Grant,
I
were
heard
you around for that? We had this concept show. It failed when we started talking about Ghostbusters 2016. But it
no,
was called
dude, I love that, but no one understood.
No, it was called The Best Last Opinion. And the whole idea was we were reacting to news as if it was brand new because we were so
Oh,
far behind.
that's
And we
awesome.
did it for The Last Jedi. And people would come in and be like, what is happening? What? Wait, they would be so confused. They're like, this is live? What?
Brightest Day, what's up, man? Hey, before I say hi to the panel, let me say hi to the
Brodock,
chat.
That's good.
We have Brightest Day out there. We have Mike Has Bad Knees is out there. San Oro Baptista is in the house. I love this dude's channel. I can't say its name though.
Wakisashi's Tea House.
I love his channel. The dude has a great YouTube voice.
Gray's
I was going
fantastic.
to say he has a voice that doesn't match the name of his channel.
Not at all, but I think he's in Japan. That's why. So
Yeah, he is.
yeah, he's a really cool dude. I enjoy his stuff.
Boom.
Not enough people watching him. Like I think a lot more people should. He just has that way about him. So please check him out.
Oh, and he can put away a few drinks as well. So much
That's what I've
respect for
heard.
that.
That's what I've heard.
Gray
Keith
is a
Howard. Well, go ahead.
Gray is a beast.
Okay,
great-
good. I'm glad I
great
stopped for that.
Yeah.
Keith Howard
You
in the
should.
house. Johnny Worry Sex, aka Juice Cannon. I like that.
Oh man, I wish Ryan was here in the back so he could see my Mandalorian is the best Star Wars since Empire video.
Yep, he would like that. I think because he loves Baby Yoda.
Dude, you mentioned
Even
Star
though
Wars.
I
You
started
mentioned
that.
Star
but
Wars,
whatever.
and look who turned up in the chat.
Oh God, is he there? 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser is here, and
What
also
up, Nick?
Raging Rhino's in the house.
Dude, that
Raging
Mandalorian
Rhino.
was the best episode ever, dude. He loves it.
Yeah, it was way better than the whole second season, though. Changed
Not
my
boring
mind.
at all.
Changed my mind. Oh, it was action packed. Remember the part where he was pew pew. I thought the very beginning was very, it was so interesting because it's like, oh my God,
Shut.
is that a flashback? No, it wasn't.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna steal what I said earlier in the back before anybody got here.
I wasn't gonna do that to you. I should have. Now that you said it.
Yeah, don't do that. Type it in the chat. Let me do it.
Yeah, that's
Who
even
would
better.
ever dare steal from Mad?
Oh, Raging
Yeah.
will come on. So we'll hold
Right.
off on talking about the Mandalorian. I know that Mark with a C will be here in a little bit, but we also have Mad Cheesemo in the house. How are you?
What
man?
up? Doing well. Making my Mandalorian video. Gonna start. Monday premiering our Movies with Mad, Freddy versus Jason. It was the girlfriend's birthday, and a lot of musical numbers in that.
okay.
that recording. Yeah. So
Was it
excited
Destiny's
to get that one out
Child in
there.
that?
Huh?
Wasn't one of the Destiny's Child in that one?
Oh yeah, Kelly Rowan. Yep. Anyway, so that'll
Okay,
be
good.
premiering Monday.
Yep.
I guess that's about it.
That was fantastic.
We watched Southland Tales last night. Was it last night, Brahma?
Yeah, that was last night.
Oh man, and fucking Yeti does, and he got the director's super cut, and it was like 3 hours of nonsense.
Oh, geez.
160 minutes instead of 110.
Oh God.
And
was so
110
bad.
would have been way too much.
But that's
so
doesn't
bad.
that sum up Yeti?
It really does.
yeah.
He-
He either
he
makes
was
a really
pissed
long
drunk.
cut, or he gives you the Christian
Yes.
the Christian cut of a
Yeah.
raunchy sex comedy.
No
Right.
shit, Scott. We watched Hard Ticket to Hawaii. And and he found the only Christian version out there where all the nudity is cut out.
Yeah.
Is that what was wrong with it?
Yeah, so you just have these two giant titty women who are the stars of the shows. You never see a tit, not a nipple, not a nothing.
There's
This
like
is an
side
80s
boob
this is an
constantly,
80s
under
flick.
boob constantly,
Yes.
never
And
any
no
boob.
straight on boob.
Nope.
Yeah.
But there was an interesting scene about a guy's activities with a woman the previous night. So that was
But that was last night. I'm a changed man.
yeah.
That's Sarah. What was the show again? What was it called again?
Oh, Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
Hard Ticket to Hawaii. Soul
Something
Assassin's
stuck
in
in
the
my
house.
head,
Everybody, the super mod, got to give a shout out. Eclay is here. Boosh McFadden is in the house. Free Folk of the Fandom is here. And other people. I hope I said everybody. Yeti is, why would you get big boobied ladies if you're not going to show them in a movie? It's like a B, right? It's a B or C movie.
It's an A.
What?
It
was a double D movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm about to say nobody in that movie is an A.
What was the guy's name from Young and the Restless or whatever it is? He plays like Ridge or something.
Who knows? But at one point, bro, they used the bazooka to blow up a blow up doll.
Blow up. He
doll.
blew up a blow up.
From the back of a Jeep.
Oh, that's fantastic. How
After
can
they
you
were
tell me
shot
that's
at
not
by a
action?
guy on a skateboard.
That is
Who was
fantastic.
holding the blow up doll.
Yeah, as a
That-
skateboard.
He's
gonna lie, that-
skateboarding with a blow up doll in front of him, like, wee.
They won't see me coming.
That's called camouflage, man. If I ever heard it. Let's
Well, they did my boy Shades wrong in that film. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, who are you?
I'm Mr. Greg Gregory. I do AI art stuff, and apparently I steal from people who I'm never going to pay to do artwork. So,
Yeah, you also steal from Jane Theory, who does AI artwork now. Did you see the stuff she did?
Yeah.
I asked her to do me. Why does AI not know what a spork is? I'm really getting sick and tired of that.
It was holding up a spoon in one hand and
a fork in the other.
The other.
Half the time they're weird looking forks. That's all they are. They're like pitchforks. It's stupid. What's up, Jacob?
It's easy to do.
Hey, I'm
Well,
here.
you do it.
It's Saturday night. There's fights going on. I got like a big ass bag of like Doritos.
Product
for, like,
placement.
tonight, so
Product placement.
yeah, until they pay me, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oops, wrong. Oh, shit. I fucked that up. And I can swear now because it's 8 seconds over. Did you guys see any of those new guidelines?
Yeah.
What new
but
guidelines?
I
Did you
sent
see
it
the
3 weeks
ones
ago?
that came out yesterday? They redid them.
Are you
They
serious?
did them again.
Yeah.
It was literally like you can't swear or talk about violence or show violence in the first 8 seconds of a video or a live stream, or they would demonetize you like that.
It's
First 8
essentially-
seconds.
It's essentially the same thing, except they've taken out the things that were specific and made the terminology more broader now.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not part of the YouTube cool club, so I don't get those messages.
You're in my chat, buddy. I sent it.
Yeah, I didn't. I saw the crazy shit
No,
about the CIA.
I got it from my YouTube guy because
That
I have a
CIA
YouTube
one
guy.
was, I'm telling you, man, the CIA one's
we can
crazy.
talk about it.
But Mark's here. How are you, Mark?
Hey, what's up, fellas?
How you doing, my brother?
All right, how's everybody
What's up,
doing? Talking about the YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I accepted my destiny a long time ago. I'll be kicked off YouTube in no time because I'm not going to bow to any of this bullshit. You know what I mean? It's like what was YouTube in the beginning? It was broadcast yourself.
Yep.
We're supposed to have freedom of speech. Nobody is saying anything on here that's that serious.
Nope.
Where they need to be doing stuff like that. So
Well, also, Mark, don't we agree? Don't we agree if someone's threatening somebody or calling to violence? Yeah, you could delete their channel if that's all their channel is. But we're talking about what we believe is going wrong in society today, and they don't agree with it. So that's why we're not supposed to be here.
The guys from Revenge of the Sith got a strike for a video for a stream that they did 2 years ago for medical misinformation. So
2 years ago.
2 years ago. It wasn't even a recent video.
Did they say
What were
that
they saying that you
that the
would
vaccine
die
is
from
safe?
burning up?
No, essentially
We totally support the vaccine here at Sporking News Podcast. Get your 19th booster shot today.
it's safe and effective.
Did you see the Babylon Bee thing when they had the Pfizer CEO coming out talking about how safe the vaccine is, and they went through 4 CEOs because they kept dying at the podium.
Well, it's like people like drink the water in Ohio, but we're in Washington, D.C. You go drink the goddamn water.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah. And meanwhile, they're just like slowly removing any kind of water that was in like 100-mile radius of that blast.
Absolutely.
So don't worry, it's fine.
It's fine.
totally fine.
It's
Oh
fine.
man, that global warming sure getting rid of all that water quick, isn't it, Jacob?
Yeah.
Nasty, man. Nasty.
Yeah.
What's up?
Meanwhile- I was gonna say, meanwhile, somewhere in Pennsylvania, Fetterman is still in the hospital for depression, quote unquote.
Dude,
While his wife is in Canada celebrating.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
dude.
about that?
She should be brought up on charges for what, and her and the DNC for what they put that dude through. He couldn't even talk, and I'm sorry. He had a stroke. I'm not saying the man should be just tossed to the wayside. What I'm saying is, this is one of the highest stress jobs you can have in the world as a senator in the United States, and they decided that he was healthy enough to do it when you could just look at the poor guy and he needed maybe a couple more years to heal.
Yeah,
They
it
put
goes to show you just how-
a feeble old man in the White House. It's just what they do. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Come on,
the
man.
other story. Did you hear the story that came out very quietly on Friday?
Oh,
that
yeah.
Biden was treating for a cancer that was removed from his skin. It's like no big deal. It's just like, yeah, we removed it. It's fine. President has cancer.
Yeah.
Don't look too much into it.
No, we don't have to talk about that. Look the other way. Look the
Yeah.
other
The
way.
dementia will get him long before the cancer.
Right?
Wait, so some poor cancer caught a Biden?
Yeah.
It kind of feels like he's 98% cancer at this age.
Well,
And
I
they
know.
just removed the non-cancerous.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Right.
I know Kathleen Kennedy has cancer, and it's called Raging Rhino. How are you, sir?
I'm
You
doing
like that
good.
segue? That was a nice segue
Yeah.
intro.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm doing
I was
all right.
watching a couple. I was watching a couple of your videos this morning, man. I salute you.
Hey, man, they're out there in force at the moment. That's for sure.
Yeah, man.
Definitely
great.
out there.
You are
Those
doing
Disney
well, sir.
seals.
You are doing
I'm
well.
trying. The crazy thing is, like, I don't know how to get the algorithm going because, like, I've been putting out a lot more videos, and yes, the sub count is climbing, but it's very slow, and the view count is climbing, but that's very slow too. So I don't really know what to do other than what I'm actually doing. So
don't worry, my view and watch time have gone down as my sub counts have gone up. I don't understand this algorithm at all. So
yeah,
get used to it, baby.
Yeah, man, we got 50 people watching right now, so thank you to you guys out there and ladies. Most likely not ladies, because you know a lot of the time it's just dudes. But if you are a lady, shoot out something in the chat. Let us know you're there, because you know who loves you. He's sitting 2 over from me. His name is Machismo. He loves the ladies.
Bro, my channel, man, it's like 70% women. Oh, maybe not like 30%. It's really, really high, and it's ridiculous because we try to ban them all the time.
Someone send Nick a link too. So we have Brahmabull as a guest. I'm glad you're here. Make sure you guys are subscribing to Brahmabull's channel. Everybody on the panel also. Next
Lily
week
of the Fox Valley is in the chat, by the way. That's somebody I've been trying to ban.
There
from
we
the channel.
go, a lady.
Just keeps showing up.
She's a lady. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
We have a real one here, people.
Sorry, I thought you were about to do a Fetterman then with that noise.
Wow. Thank you. Good night. No, I forgot what I was going to say now. Shit. I don't see gender, you know? I don't see gender.
no, he just sees skin color.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
He's not racist, he's ignorant. There's a difference.
No, I need a quota. That's all I know. You know what we're going to talk about first that's not on the docket is this one right here. And then we'll go into a little Mandalorian talk. But
Such a good show.
the Dungeons and Dragons movie intentionally emasculates its leading men.
Well, I mean, of course, they cast Chris Pine to begin with, so that should.
Yeah, dude, he's getting worse and worse, bro. 1984, I thought after that he'd be like, all right, I'm done. But no, he went into whatever that movie is with that singing kid who's now in the MCU. One Direction dude. What's his name?
Oh, that Harry Styles.
Harry
Harry Styles.
Oh,
Harry
maybe when
he in
Harry
the
Styles
MCU?
spat on him, he got his like the you know that woke germ.
Dude,
and now it's turned him into this cuck.
I still don't think it was spit. I thought he shot gum at him or something that sounds like gum.
Oh,
Whatever it was.
The sad thing about Chris Pine is that he's actually in one of my all-time favorite movies, Hell or High Water, one of the first ones that Taylor Sheridan wrote a few years ago. Very, very good movie, but ever since then, I don't think I've liked him in a single movie he's been in.
He was okay in that Contracted movie. Unfortunately, the movie couldn't decide whether it wanted to be a Mission Impossible action kind of a movie or a political thriller with a real message about PTSD and soldiers coming back from war. So it just didn't do either, which made it blah. Because it just was down the middle. But it was okay for what it was.
Mm-hmm.
You should see him in Smoking Aces. That's his best role, hands down.
Oh, he's so good in that movie. Everyone always forgets that he's in Smoking Aces.
What's he in Smoking Aces?
He's the crazy redneck guy.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
He's the main crazy redneck guy.
But this is the problem with woke Hollywood at the moment is a lot of your favorite actors or a lot of people that you used to watch and think, oh, you know, he was good in this role, he was good in that role, are now starting to bend the knee and turn into these woke actors and woke activists more than actually just being an actor and playing a good role.
Thank God it hasn't happened to Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, that's one guy we can rely on these days.
I can't stand Cranston, Jacob. That dude, I want to headbutt him. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, no. We talked about him earlier this week and the full-blown stupidity he's been on. But it's like, yeah, no, all of these Hollywood celebrities, they're all paid puppets. Most of these guys, we talk about uneducated. Most of these guys didn't even finish high school, let alone graduate with any kind of meaningful degree whatsoever. And they're here lecturing you because we give them this platform as celebrities to be like, I'm going to change the world with my voice. It's like, shut up. You're literally a paid prostitute for like politicians and producers. Like, stop trying to be Mother Teresa.
Mother Teresa. It's like one of these things where like, dude, we get it. You want to be in that in crowd of, I I don't even know anymore. Like, what do you want to be? You want to be the guy who gets all those crappy roles and makes other men hate you for being weak? Because like Chris Pine could have been he was, he could have been a great leading actor and could have done some of the, I don't know, action type films that aren't as masculine,
Yeah. But that's the trend in Hollywood now, is that we have to tear down masculinity and raise up women. I won't even say femininity, because they're trying to tear that down too. They're essentially trying to erase all gender norms so that we have this whole big mishmash of a genderless society, which you can read into some other stuff about that, about the gender behind that as well.
Yeah, feminize the males and make the females far more masculine than they need to be.
Yeah, and what's even funnier on this one, Mark, is like they're like, oh no, we didn't make Michelle Rodriguez and Sophie Lilly's characters more masculine. It's just, and we weren't meaning to be woke. This is just what we do. We put the female characters on the front lines because they're the strong ones, and we put the men in the back. Like they're trying to say
just
this
like
wasn't a woke
Wendy and
move.
Peter Pan.
Yeah. Oh God, let's not start that.
This wasn't an attempt at wokeness on our part. It just happened to turn out the same as every other movie that's come out in the past 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's what they want, guys. Remember that old episode of The Next Generation where the men were all feminine and sissy-like and the women were masculine? You remember that episode, The Next Generation? That's the way they want to move us. That's what they want.
Yeah, because they're not writing strong female characters. They're writing male characters and inserting a female in it.
Yep.
That's what it is. I mean, they're not.
It is not just in movies now too. You see it on the red carpet. All the men now are wearing dresses on the red carpet.
Dude.
All the women are wearing, suits that look like men. It's just like all gender confusing on purpose.
I hate to push back on this, Jacob, but if you saw Pedro Pascal, the internet's daddy, he was wearing Shaquille O'Neal's pants. I don't know if you saw them.
Oh yeah,
I hadn't seen that one yet, but that sounds hilarious.
Yeah, he was wearing big boy clothes.
Yeah, he was.
Did you see my tweet?
Very
for
big.
him.
They were very
Did you
big.
see my tweet? I said Shaq called. He said he wants his pants back.
That's where I got it from. I knew I stole it from one of y'all.
Right.
This is so baggy. Like, what are you wearing, dude?
But the real losers are the women out there, like the true women out there, because they do want alpha men. You know, they want men that they can rely on. They don't want to be competing in sports with men who are acting like women. They don't want to see a magazine that says Woman of the Year and there's some dude on the cover.
Right.
I don't.
What are we raising our daughters? What's that?
Men are better at being women. I don't know if you noticed this trend.
Apparently, because every time I see an advertisement now, it's always a man playing the role of a woman. So I mean, I'm guessing they're doing a better job at that too.
Yeah, Hershey, they get it.
Oh God, dude, I got to give that guy Jeremy from the Daily Wire credit because he jumps on that shit quick.
So quick.
Yeah,
it's such a great idea.
All over that.
He was
Nuts
all
and
over
nutless. No, that's not the one.
That's not the one.
No, that's not the one. But I'm digging.
I mean, that's still like, what's up with? Why wear a jacket that's 50% not there?
I'll bring it up.
It's a knitted. I don't even know.
This doesn't even match.
Like who is your stylish where you're like your stylist like puts that on you and you're like, okay, I might not be that stylish, but I guess this looks fine.
You know what it is? It's because it's a man. It's a man stylist. He's
You know
colorblind.
what? Worse than that,
All right,
Matt.
hold
I
on.
reckon it was a straight man.
Oh, I didn't even see
This
that.
one.
Look at the pants. Look at them.
Oh my God.
And then he's got the frilly arms, the frilly sleeves on his
Open up
shirt.
your cuffs, man.
What is going on?
What the hell?
Fashion with
Undo
sport.
that top button. My God. Look, he's not comfortable wearing this because he knows he looks like an asshole.
Yeah, totally. Like, yeah. And you know what, guys? It's so no belt rule is 1990s 90210. Like, wear a goddamn belt.
Yeah, I'm okay with no belt. But by the way, I don't think
Well,
there's
you're
lenses.
from Texas.
I don't think there's lenses in those glasses.
Oh,
yeah, where
don't
we
be
wear
that guy.
pants that fit.
Can we bring that up closer? Can we see? Because that does not look like glasses. You're
Because
right.
there's no reflection happening.
I can't zoom this up. Hold on.
Oh man, let's find it.
Let me see.
That's how I picture Yeti in real life, though.
Yeti in real life, yes.
Grant and I know Yeti in real life. We.
It's funny because it's true.
Pedro Pascal and Yeti have something in common. Okay.
You guys ever see a movie called The Bubble?
Yes, I
Yeah,
have.
on Netflix. I couldn't
Yep.
even make it all the way through.
Remember the scene with Pedro Pascal and Daisy Ridley?
No.
Damn.
Oh, y'all remember? So there was this one part of the scene where, spoiler, just in case you guys didn't know, but it's not a good movie anyway. So the whole idea is that they're in the bubble filming a movie during COVID. So he's locked up in a room. He's like a sex addict / drug addict. So at one point in the scene, he has sex with like a Peloton machine that just happens to be Daisy Ridley. So there's
Oh,
your
that's
Star
right.
Wars connection.
Share my
in the
screen.
movie.
I've got a.
Yeah,
there's
no,
lenses.
there's lenses, man.
Yeah, I
There's
see it
There's
now.
lenses.
lenses. But okay, so all right, there's a couple things about him that really pissed me off recently. This now being one. Pedro Pascal viral refusal to read sexy tweets sparks debate about red carpet etiquette. Like, so some dude was like, "Hey, read these sexy tweets." He's like, "No," and that guy probably got fired for asking him. Second, the dude has no problem talking about strippers and men dressed like women strippers dancing in front of babies, but he doesn't want to do the voice of the Mandalorian for kids because he thinks it's creepy. Like, choose your
Why
battles,
is that
bro.
creepy?
Hey, he said, you know how there's the whole "this is the way" thing from the Mandalorian.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He was in an interview and somebody asked him to say it like, how can I say this? Because I would normally say it in a way that you'd probably get your channel taken down. If he was a gay man.
You can say it, just don't use the hard R this time.
Whoa!
Anyway, I'll see if
If
I
he
can
was a
find
Green
that.
Bay Packer, then
See if I can find that.
Oh, what was that? You are
Going on.
I don't know, Mark, and I apologize for my channel right now.
Not you, Jacob. He doesn't apologize to
behaving.
you.
No, the channel in general. Well, because Mark said something. Shut up.
Why?
You hate
okay.
women.
What?
Lily, he hates women.
Lily knows
You're never going
this.
to come back from that. Ow.
I'll come back from that.
What were we talking about?
I don't know, something
oh,
gay.
That guy looks like his name should be like Riley or something.
There we
Rhino
go.
was
Some masculinity. We need Nick. What's up?
Nick.
Hello, gentlemen.
We had
It's a
an
nice full
awesome
house.
We had an
Greetings
awesome
to you.
Toxic Tuesday.
Yeah, dude. That shit was homoeroticism to 11.
Hell yeah. By the way, I was on there.
Yes.
I was
You
gonna say,
were.
you don't
It
have-
was
you don't have to-
delightful.
you don't have to preface that, Matt. We understood what you meant.
I'm excited
Mad.
for Tuesday. I am going to be there.
Oh,
That
I
started
can't
most
wait.
of the homoeroticism.
He does, but you know what? When he goes, we just let him go, and it's great. It's delightful. It
Sounds
does. That's
about
seriously. That's saying a lot because Showdown in Tokyo, Little Tokyo, the week before was a wild show, and then like, how do you follow it up? Well, you bring Mad Mardigan on for John Wick, and it's just all gravy. So look forward to doing it again. It's gonna be huge.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? You got here just in time to talk. Who didn't watch the first episode of The Mandalorian season 3?
who hasn't watched a single episode of
Just
The
the guy that
Mandalorian?
you just said came on just in time.
Thank God.
Just in
You've done
time, Nick.
yourself a favor.
We're going to talk about something you don't know about.
You know what?
Yeah.
That's the way we do it here. Okay. I got to say, Raging, it might be the greatest Star Wars since
This motherfucker.
Good one.
Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi, I'll say.
Actually, before you wind Raging up too much, because I know he's going to go on for 87 minutes. The one thing that I want to say that I don't understand from people that are like, oh, well, at least they gave Cara a decent send off.
F that, dude.
It made no sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
0 sense. She's gone and now worked for the people that she was running away for, and she was
Right.
just happy to.
She's Secret Service now. What?
So what'd she do?
Well,
She got a promotion.
She
Hold
got
on, seriously?
recruited by special forces.
They
because
didn't
she
do her
pawn him
dirty?
off Gideon.
Oh, they did her dirty by just
they
saying.
did, but they left the door open for a recast down the track.
They didn't
Yeah.
like kill her off screen.
Hey,
or
they
They
didn't
anything.
kill her
focused,
off yet.
they focused 3 seconds on it. That was a lot of time for them.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
that's nothing. If you're even gonna call it dirty, no. What was done dirty is when Chef got killed off in South Park. They killed his character off in the worst, most brutal way possible. They made his character become a, let's just say, a molester, and then they had him join that club, part of a cult, and then he died falling down that hill, getting eaten by wolves, with his limbs being taken apart.
Why
That
did they?
was-
Screaming.
But why did they kill off
While
Chef? Like,
streaming.
why?
Because they had a falling out
Because of
with
Scientology.
Isaac Hayes
Over
because they're
the-
making fun of Scientology. So they
Isaac Hayes is a
responded.
Scientologist.
Okay, and
Well, not
they don't
anymore.
like that.
It was right after the episode
The
with Tom
Scientology
Cruise and
episode.
John Travolta.
Yeah. So they
So they
responded
really-
by killing his character off in the worst, most brutal way possible.
Yeah, and he had a problem with it, so they killed him in that way.
Tell me this: how is Isaac Hayes a Scientologist? That just blows my
I
mind.
mean, he's not
Anybody can be,
anymore.
I
he's
guess.
dead.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, so
He died of-
no,
it was just
he
he
died
is-
of. He died
I
of
was
2
wondering
months
why we were
after
talking
that
about the
episode.
man like he was still alive.
I
Yeah.
thought he was.
no,
He's been dead for a while.
he's hanging out with Zemu, you know.
Yeah, on the spaceship, right?
You know it's Xenu, and you do it to piss me off.
I got a question in
Okay.
regards going back to Star Wars.
Thank
all
you.
of a sudden.
Good job. Thank you.
Yeah, so
Um,
Isaac Hayes was in. Never mind.
So it got revealed that Grogu was with Luke for 2 years training, apparently, right?
Yeah.
during,
Right.
during the Book of Boba Fett stuff before he goes back to Mando.
Right.
There's two really big issues that I've now got with that. First of all, Din Djarin lost the Razor Crest at the end of season 2.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And that means that he didn't get a ship for 2 years. So he was catching public transport around the galaxy, doing bounties, catching public transport everywhere around the galaxy in that 2
He was using localized fobs to track people, so it made sense.
Yeah.
Shut up about the
Made it
truck
quick.
bobs. That's
Made it
fucking
quick.
Stupid. But the other thing that I'm really curious about is in this first episode of season 3, Grogu's back in his little egg thing, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
But for
It's a
2
new one.
years while he was with Luke, he was jumping around because of his training. He was able to use the Force to jump from rock to rock to rock and, you know, able to walk around and stuff like this. And now all of a sudden he's forgotten how to walk around
Okay,
again.
please. Let
That
me
was all
answer this.
Luke. That was all Luke. Go ahead.
All right, that's because when he was training with Luke, he had the string system plyometric vertical shoes, you know, with the what is it called? The circle at the bottom of it or whatever, the platform to help build your calves.
Yeah, I used those back in the day.
Yeah, once
He's
he
also,
went
he's
back
also
with
wearing that
Mando.
chainmail that he got as a present too. remember?
Exactly. Once he went back to Mando, his calves, you know, his vertical's not the same as it was.
You gotta have a
bro.
strong calf game.
He's
Have
2
to have a
years
strong
older
calf game.
now. He's
Yeah.
87 years old.
No,
But
no,
his
no.
casting
Gravity-
game is on point. I will give him that.
Well, hang on.
Gravity
No,
was
he's not.
completely different on the planet that he was training with Luke on, so it was much easier for him to stand.
And he's actually
It was a
lot
different
older.
sun.
He's actually a lot older than 52. Like, if you actually do the math on it based on Jon Favreau's explanation, because we need explanation after
Right.
the fact, instead of them showing us, they need to actually tell us.
That's how you
Right.
So
fill in the
in
parts.
season 1, he was a 50-year-old being. Remember, he's 50 years old. That's all the information that we've got about him. And you know, Din Djarin finds him, and he's 50 years old. Apparently, from the time that Din Djarin saved him and the end of season 2, that's many years. That took place over many years. In Jon Favreau's words. Now, when you're sitting there watching it as a part of the audience, you're like, okay, so this has taken place over maybe like 6 months.
Yeah, to a year,
Something like
maybe.
that. It certainly doesn't feel like many years. So there's many years in there.
Wait a
and
minute,
then
from
he was
season 1 to 2 is many
2.
years?
Many years. In Jon
I didn't know
Favreau's
that.
words.
He said many years more. He said more than 2 is how he worded it.
No.
that was training.
No,
That was
the
training.
training with Luke was between 1 and 2 years. He was with, I'll find it. He was with Din Djarin for many years. And then he was with Luke for 2 years.
Mhm.
So that would make Grogu like, I don't know, 55 to 60 years old now in the time that we've seen him on screen.
Mhm.
Do you really, like anyone that's been keeping up to date or anyone that's been watching it, do you think we've seen at least 5 years? At least.
Not at all.
It's at least 5
Not at all.
years.
Not at all. It feels like maybe 2.5. Like I
Doesn't
thought he
even
was
feel
with
like
Luke.
that.
I thought he was with Luke for like 6 months.
It
didn't
felt more
se-
like Luke kicked him out like a week after he got there. Like, okay, you whiny little baby, go back
Because
to
they
him.
expect you to be stupid and think that you'll just roll with the 2 years because they know there was absolutely no time. They know there's no time, but they expect the consumer to be stupid and just to
Yep.
roll with it. They're not
I want you-
expecting you to apply logic because that's for us geeks to do. We make things make sense. They don't. They expect your casual crowd to just roll that and say, okay, well, they say it. And because they're working on a Star Wars show, they have to be a legitimate opinion.
Did Filoni just fart? Is that why Favreau's got that face?
No, he probably has that face because of what he said about Luke. We're going to talk about later.
No, he just heard Filoni fart, and he's like, "How dare you?" Listen, this is directly from the horse's mouth. So this was just Disney SEALs asking questions of these guys.
He is definitely somebody who has spent time in both worlds. And we know that he started off earlier in the Jedi Temple. We've seen flashbacks to that, that speak to that. And then we know that he's been rescued and spent many years with the Mandalorian.
Rescued and spent many years with the Mandalorian. Listen.
Went back with Luke. Now we've been 2 years apart from him.
Went back with Luke, and now we've been 2 years apart from Din Djarin, the Mandalorian.
There, training. What's interesting is that
don't look at the camera.
That's pretty much it.
Look at Filoni. He's just staring at the camera. What a freak! All right, sorry.
I've actually got a video because I watched this on my stream and I clipped it out and I'll be dropping.
You do realize
today.
the term "many"? If you want to talk about it in time of years, many means more than 7. So
well, it does, but I'm thinking because a few is more than 3 or 2.
Few is 3.
Yeah, a few is 3. So many I always thought was like 5 or 6.
Yeah, or in the actual proper definition, if you say it's been many years, you're saying it's been more than 7 years.
Really? I didn't know that. Look at us learning.
See, this is where, like I'm saying, instead of them actually showing us on the screen, like they have to now explain it with exposition from, just because you now need to know. The other thing too is like, okay, this first episode of season 3, he visited 3 different planets, right? He had a fight with a dinosaur. He had a fight with some pirates. He tried to repair the droid. How much time has taken place in just that one episode?
17 years.
Like
8 hours.
Who knows?
Yeah,
it could be a month. It could be 17 years. We don't know. Because also, too, hyperspace travel is now teleportation. Right?
It's always been instant. Ask Filoni.
Well, can I say
Disney
one thing
Star
about
Wars
Filoni? He looks as much of a cowboy as John Roca.
No, I think Roca looks a little bit more. I think Roca could actually take a punch.
So hang on. On the panel, how many people actually watched this first episode?
Oh, I did. I saw it twice.
Okay.
Yeah,
you
I
watched
saw
it.
What did you think of it, Mark? What did you think of it?
There was a lot of things I had problems with. I mean, considering it's just coming back after how long, that was really a big nothing of an episode. It should have made much more of an impact. They didn't explain, for the sake of their own show, why Grogu is still there.
Right.
Like the disrespect for the viewer is just it's all over it. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, they're going to accept it. The Mandalorian is the best thing that they got going and everything. But, and like I said, I don't down anybody for what they enjoy. But at the same time, it should have hit a lot harder than it did.
Well, I think that they're doing the best thing that they can. And not to spoil my video that's coming out about Mandalorian being the best since Empire. But but my video is basically me trying, talking about it. And then I get to a Baby Yoda scene and I lose my shit. I'm like, oh, my God, he's so adorable. Yeah. And that's how this show is. It is just nonsense that's happening in this boring Star Wars, world universe. And then you have Baby Yoda and you're like, oh, he's the cutest thing I've ever seen.
When he's spinning around in the chair using the Force, I thought that was so adorable.
Selfishly using the Force after 2 years of training, he's now just going dark side and selfishly using the Force.
Baby.
He's a baby, Brian. He's 57 years old.
Yeah, and Yoda was 900.
In the temple,
it's a different
son. And he's had training with Luke Skywalker.
It was a different son.
Oh, get out!
How long was the youngling in the temple?
Under a yellow sun.
He was a youngling.
And why
in
is
the
he
temple.
still acting like he's still new to the universe? He's still acting like he's still new to the world. Like Mando has to explain to him that Babu Frick is not a pet.
Yeah,
he should have been allowed to keep him. He should have been allowed to keep him.
Let the man finish his thought.
Over 50 years. Over 50 years.
No, 50 years.
Hold on. No,
all right, one at a time.
Listen, he was a good baby the whole trip. He deserved a prize.
Shut up, man. I'm going to hurt you.
And when Baba Freak called him I wish he would have. He didn't eat any frog eggs.
Yeah,
the
right?
whole time.
Don't forget about the frog eggs. He was killing that thing's babies.
And he didn't do it this time.
He's
but
a slaver. He wanted to take the poor thing and put it into indentured servitude.
When he saw the space whales, all he was wondering is, can I eat that?
Yeah.
Can I eat that?
He did have that
He's
look
a retard,
of
bro.
Wow.
He's got to be retarded. I mean,
He's a
come on.
baby.
It's like I was saying. He was at the Jedi Temple. How is he not communicating with people at this point?
50 years, right?
He's a baby.
He's stupid.
I heard the name retard and I came running back.
No, you got a valid point. Mark, you have a valid point. 50 years, and don't give me his species. 50 years of a 900-year life is still not like you're still under one. A 2-year-old could start using words. A 1.5. My kid's 1.5. His 5th word was Yoda.
Oh my God, he has a speech impediment.
How is he in the
stutter.
Jedi Temple with the other younglings? He should have been in a special education class,
right?
Because clearly his development is lower.
That's why
than
they did that last, because they knew they couldn't get away. That's why he survived so long.
Mark, you're right there.
Even removed away from Grogu for a second and the cuteness of Grogu, I hate that. Like, open your brain up a little bit more.
Nope.
And
He's
actually,
cute, though,
like,
don't you reckon, Ryan?
like that scene. No, he's not. That scene with Babu Frick, the Babu Frick characters, that was like, I don't know if you remember this because you were just too busy looking at Grogu and the cuteness of all the cuteness that was on the screen. But when the Babu Frick character says to Din Djarin, no, can't fix it. He's like, I can't understand you. Do you speak Huttese? Carl Weathers ducks down and goes, he says he can't fix it. And then the Babu Frick character says something again back to him. And Carl Weathers says again, he translates for him, and he then turns to him and goes, yeah, I got it. But you just said you didn't get it, and you wanted to see if you could speak Huttese.
But they played that bit out like 5 times before
in your
that.
brain
The
as
best
a
part
fan
is
watching this,
it
doesn't matter because it's cuteness on the screen.
Oh my God.
It doesn't matter. It's cute on the screen.
Rhino,
I just want to go back again. What?
It's called the rule of 5. It's a comedy thing. You do the bit 5 times and then it'll be funny.
Oh, right. I see.
Yeah. See, it's like if you shit on someone's yard like once, it's funny, but then you do it 5 times, it's not funny.
No,
if you do it
the 6th time is not funny. The 6th time is not funny.
It's so
Wait,
stupid.
let's rewind this dumb shit because there's a lot of dumb shit here.
There is a lot of dumb shit.
So when you get to the opening of the episode
I
and
wanna
you got the
start with you.
Mandalorians standing in the water,
Right.
raging. Why were they standing in the water to begin with? Is this like part of their ritual, their coronation ceremony?
Well, I want to go even further. I
Religious,
don't understand that, and I want to come back to that. But what I don't get about that whole thing is, last time we saw all these Mandalorians from this cult sect of Mandalorians,
There was 4 of them.
they took all their armor off.
Yeah.
They died. Doesn't that mean that they've got to go and take a bath on Mandalore so they can be a Mandalorian again? No, we're just going to magically make them actually appear again. The last time we saw them actually was in the Book of Boba Fett on the big ring thing, and there was only 2 of them. The big guy that uses the big fucking gun, and the
Smith.
Oh my God,
The
they've been
Smith.
recruiting.
Yeah.
These could be reserve Mandalorians.
But
There's
wait a
no
minute, go back,
explanation.
Raging, go back
There's
to
no-
that. They took off their armor, including their helmets, right? To like
That's
disappear.
right.
To
But
disappear.
don't they need to now go and take a bath? Like,
Yeah.
this is the whole thing of this season is Din Djarin needs to take a bath on Mandalore. We're just going to watch him take a bath. How's he going to get evidence? Has he got an iPhone? He can take a fucking selfie? Like, what the fuck is actually going on? And then going into
Baby
that
Yoda
scene,
will witness.
going into that scene, Mark, so they're all standing around. There's new Mandalorians fucking everywhere in their
Did you think that was a
their
flashback?
gender
I thought that was a
affirming-
flashback. They shot it making it look like
Everybody
it was a
thought
flashback.
it was a flashback until Mando actually showed
Right,
up.
right.
Right.
Because again, everybody's
me.
thinking, "Oh, the Mandalorians, they've all taken their armor off." That's what everybody should have been thinking. So this must be a flashback. But no, it's not going to be a flashback. The kid's going to be and the way that they put the helmet on and they make that sound like Vader's helmet's being put on. Oh, member berries! Remember the sound of a helmet being put on in Star Wars? Oh my god! It's
Like
so
it's like
fucking
sealed
retarded.
to his hair.
Like, yeah.
You
It's
wish
like,
you had
what?
your seal button now, don't you?
You
Oh, I
would.
wish I
Oh,
did.
you. I hope every time you get a text, it makes that noise.
Can I I do have a question, and this is one of my only
I
criticisms.
want to answer Mark's question. But
Do the helmet? Do they make it a little bigger for them to grow into, or do they adjust it when they get bigger? Do Mandalorians' heads not grow?
They can't
know.
take
Pedro
their helmet
Pascal's
off
got
in
a
front of
pretty big head.
anyone else. That's the thing.
Well, how do
Which
they
is-
adjust it?
Questions.
Does that
Just
mean that they're all
consume and
barbers?
get ready for next product.
Yeah, no, like they take their helmet off and they measure and they sent their measurements into the blacksmith. And I don't know. I don't
Well,
freaking
what
know.
happens
It's
when
stupid.
like your head gets bigger, like Barry Bonds? Like, do they have to like readjust the dimensions of like?
Because some
They
of them
wanted-
might be taking
They,
roids.
want,
You never
they
know.
wanted to
So they
make
don't
that
get
scene,
haircuts,
Mark,
basically.
Mark, they wanted to make that seem like he was being
question.
baptized, so that's why he needed to be
Yes.
in the water. It was
Very
a catalyst for basically that, and all the reason for that was so that they could have the dinosaur come out of the water. That is literally it. And the
How
thing
did they
is,
get surprised by that big ass dinosaur coming out of the water when they're standing in the
Yeah.
shallow end of the water?
I
How
know.
does that even happen, bro?
but not only that, like, okay, you're shooting this thing for like 10 minutes. It's doing nothing. You even put charges on its
They were
back
the worst
and blew those
warriors
up, and
in
it
the
did
galaxy.
nothing. Why aren't you all running into the cave? It looks like the dinosaur can't actually come any
Well,
further
no,
out of
strategically,
the water
your best
than
bet
it
is to go in the water. Is to surround it in the water and quote unquote flank them in its natural environment. Everyone
And then
knows
he put-
that.
No,
And then
they
they
just
put their
needed
ropes
one
on it.
more rope attached to him, and I think they would have got him.
They would have had him.
And
They
this
just
is
had
the
one
thing
more
too.
rope guy.
What
Wait a
would
minute,
they
real
have
quick,
done?
real quick, Raging. I want to go back to this because I thought of this too. Small Time Republic says it made the airtight sound with the young Mandalorian's helmet, even though it didn't lock into anything that he was wearing.
Exactly.
It was just like, it was open. So like all of a sudden it goes on, but for some reason it goes. But
It's
there's
honestly,
Vacuum sealed his hair.
You know what it's there for, Small Time Republic? For them. It's literally
Sorry, could you
for
do that
them.
again? We need to full screen you.
Yeah, we need that. Go for it. One more time.
I
Dude,
love how
look-
Raging
look-
Rhino
make
is
sure when
raised
you
to
clip
the
that,
third
make
seal.
sure-
Week.
When
Yep,
you clip
sorry.
it, make sure you have Nick's laugh in there. Okay.
Look who's the baby Yoda now.
So they're putting all the ropes on. Now, this is the other thing too, is first of all, how does Mando know where they are? Because the last time Mando was with any of the other Mandalorians, it was on the Halo ring.
They have
in Book
fobs.
of
Everyone
Boba
knows
Fett.
that.
Oh, tracking fobs. That's right. The fucking thing that they invented that hasn't been explained yet. But also too,
Uses the Force.
he's no longer a Mandalorian, right? So if he hadn't have shown up, what were the Mandalorians going to do? Just keep shooting at this thing until they all die? They should have run into the cave and actually run away from this thing. Mando shows up, saves their life, and then we get that whole thing about, Mandalore's surface being crystallized,
Yep.
but somebody obviously went there to be able to get this crystal with the Mandalorian text on it and all of that sort of thing. So
Yep, that's how Biden got cancer.
He could have been. What I was gonna say is like he could have sent a droid. Like, what is the proof that this guy actually went to Mandalore?
Well, see,
he's like,
that's-
look, I got this crystal rock. A droid could go get that for you.
But see, that's why he wants the droid that he can trust, even though when he turns it back on again,
He fucking wants to kill everybody.
Decides to kill Grogu. So I don't know how he can trust it again.
Yeah,
IG-11,
Why
that
didn't
droid got
Thank you.
droid got blown to smithereens.
The charge was here. The charge was here when he blew himself
Yes.
up.
Everyone
There was
knows
nothing left.
incendiary
That's
devices
about-
don't work on metal. All right, we all know that.
What about
That's
getting
about
a
as
new?
dumbass as
over
some of
again.
the Death Star being
Star.
found years
I-
later in Rise
I'm-
of Skywalker. It's just not possible.
Again,
not possible.
I don't like criticizing the show, but how is getting a new memory chip going to bring back the AG8811 that he knows? It's like putting a new brain in your buddy, and
Yes.
like, wait a minute, why aren't you acting like my buddy? Bitch,
And
it's a
in
new
that
brain.
moment, didn't his head get crushed by the bus that actually
that's not
fell
what
on
I
him?
mean.
Yeah, and he's
Because
like, don't worry,
Din
I'll fix it.
Because
Memory
Din Djarin
doesn't
forgot how to
even
shoot. He can fucking shoot all the pirates with pew 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 pew.
Yeah.
Super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Well, that's because it was
Right?
his friend, Brahma. It was his friend he was trying to shoot. That's why he couldn't do it.
At point
Yeah,
blank range,
like in
he
Point
punched the
Break.
droid.
Oh, don't you guys ever get it when I say somebody's name? I'm going to them, Brahma. I'm really trying to host here, people.
no,
You
the
can't
Mandalorian.
host when I'm here with
Yeah,
fucking Star
I
Wars,
just
I'm
tried to
sorry.
jump
That's true.
in when
That's true.
My
Rhino's here.
fault. It's my
No,
fault.
Rhino, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm the one who allows you on. It's my fault.
I agree with what Nick just said.
I do too.
The show sounds awesome. I don't know what you guys complaining about.
Then when he crushes IG 11's head, he has this little James Bond. What do you say? That's using your head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
like
that was a
shocking.
bad
Like
line.
Like
That
this
was a
is
really
where we're
bad one,
going.
man.
This is
Yeah.
where we're going.
One-liners.
It's
I don't know.
terrible.
Stupid.
Yeah.
And let's again get to, because we really didn't cover. Then he asks about, oh, Mando, I want you to be the marshal, and he's like, well, what about Marshal Dune?
Dune.
And they're like, no, she went to be special ops again for a republic she was running away from. Like, I don't understand. Like, and people were like, see, they said something. She might come back. It's like, dude, no, they're dusting her away till you forget, who was the actress, so they could shove a new actress in there and be like, look, don't worry, just consume.
But again,
We don't need her.
the explanation doesn't add up with the character.
Absolutely
From
not.
season 1 going into season 2, there was a lot of discrepancies with the character of Cara Dune. Now, that's no plight on Gina Carano. I love Gina Carano just as much as anybody else. She's definitely stood up for her integrity. Like, she's definitely got her own integrity, and she's stood up for her own rights and all of that sort of thing. And she did it brilliantly.
Right.
And what Disney did was wrong. But in regards to her character and the way that they wrote her character, it was a mess. And now coming into season 3 with that explanation, it's made the situation even worse for the character, because she was running away from the New Republic, because she defected after she left the cleanup crew after Return of the Jedi.
Right.
So there's discrepancies there with that character. Now, obviously they needed to do something. They needed to write it in there somewhere and actually give some sort of explanation for why she's not there. But that's what makes me think that that's why they brought back IG-11, or they're trying to bring back IG-11. The script has changed from what the original plan was.
Right, her going with him, or
whatever the case may be. The other question that I've got is, once he repairs that IG-11 droid, whereabouts in his ship is he going to put it?
Underneath.
Yeah, there's a carrier thing. I'm sure.
No, just strap him on.
top.
Just strap him on. He's
Well, I
aerodynamic.
mean, there is that little passage. There is that little passage where Grogu can duck down and go through the engine and end up in the cockpit. So maybe he'll just put him on his side in that little passageway or something.
I think the best way to do it would be take Baby Yoda in his pod, put the shield up, attach it to the rear of the vehicle, and then IG-11 can sit in his spot. So you just have it like a trailer almost.
The biggest issue with people look at see everything's fine as Kara's, they don't want to let go of the hope. That's they don't want, because of see everything's be fine with Kara. They're taking advantage of your hope. They're taking advantage of your emotions.
It's almost as if they need a new hope.
You're
I know
right in a
you're
way.
not being taken. You're not being taken advantage.
Nick. No, you're right in a way, but you are wrong in the sense that there's the Disney SEALs out there that were posting on Twitter. See, 2-second explanation. See how easy it is to forget the character of Cara Dune? It's all because of the connection to Gina Carano.
Right.
Now, my curiosity comes out when they do end up recasting her. It's not Gina Carano anymore. Are they all of a sudden going to be seal clapping Cara Dune again? Because they loved her at first. Gina does what she does. She gets fired. And then they hate the character of Cara Dune. They're so happy that she's been written out. What happens now when they recast the character?
They'll say she's automatically great. You know how the script goes, Rhino. Yeah. You know how the script goes.
Turn the brain off.
Someone else. She could have one episode. She can just exist and breathe oxygen. And they're going to say she was fantastic.
Well, she's going to also be a trans black man or black woman.
Probably. She'll probably be like
you know, Mark.
Can we do dream casting?
She'll probably be a hybrid animal, and it's gonna work
Nick,
out.
I'm hoping for Ruby Rose. She needs another chance.
Oh, it'll be Ronda Rousey.
She hasn't been given enough.
Can we talk about the pirates really?
It might be. Wait a minute. Brahma had a point. It might be Ronda Rousey.
Oh,
it
might.
Maybe. She's an actress now. She'll sell her soul.
Can we talk about the pirates quickly?
What was that all about, dude? The pirates that wanted to drink in a school?
I also want to talk about like the apostate and the landed gentry and all of that sort of thing, right? Like the language that they're using, like the pirates apparently use some pirate term and all of this kind of thing, right? It's very removed from what Star Wars is. Right. It really is.
It's like Ice Pirates
dialogue, right? But again, Carl Weathers and Din Djarin, they shoot at the pirates. They kill all of them except for the main leader guy that wants to drink his alcohol in a school now.
It used to be a bar.
I was asking the question. Okay, yeah, it used to be a bar. Does that mean on Navarro there are no bars? He couldn't say to the pirates that are there, "This isn't the bar anymore. Go down the road and drink at this bar." Right?
Well, he said, "Come to my office and have some
come
drinks."
to my office.
No, it's about nostalgia. They had so many great memories at that bar.
All I know is they looked
I
like
shot
to
that
me.
guy over there.
They looked like the crew from Dead Man's Chest, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, but then not only that, their leader is Vegan the Hutt, Pizza's cousin.
No, I'm pretty sure it was the Great Trash Heap from Fraggle Rock.
Oh, down in Fraggle Rock.
Good Lord.
I must admit, I stole that off somebody
know.
in my chat from my stream. I can't take credit for the Vegan the Hutt, but that was really good. But like, even with all of that stuff, like it was obviously set up that they let that guy go so that, you know, the bad guy of this season that's going to be chasing Mando across the galaxy is going to be that Vegan the Hutt character. And all the pirates and stuff like this. Again, I would like to ask, what has happened to tracking fobs?
Oh, they removed the chip. They went to the.
They're real
local vet.
expensive. They're very pricey.
I don't think there was ever any chip. I don't know
They
what you're
removed
talking
the
about.
DNA.
They
tracker.
changed. He used the Force.
Ah,
No one can actually explain how tracking fobs work because they haven't explained them.
I don't even know if they remembered that there were tracking fobs.
No, I'm with you.
I only have one issue with the tracking fobs. How do you know when you're not supposed to be on this planet anymore? Because it's just the red lights and go left, right. I mean, how do you know that it means, oh, no, you got to go to a different planet? When you just walk off because, you know, they're flat. So when you just walk off the edge of it, like Earth.
Yeah. Let's just not forget the same guy who does fobs and stuff claims Luke Skywalker wasn't a Jedi. Okay, Dave Filoni's a fucking fraud. Okay,
so this wasn't said in any sarcasm or jest. This was said this word for word, full context.
Legitimately.
This was a legitimate one, and I like to say, if you haven't watched Zach's channel, check out Zach's last live stream with. We were on it with. Oh my god, I just blanked on his name. I am
Cameron Pasha.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
wow.
I remember
Sorry,
because
brother.
you were on there the same time that you had a live stream on your own channel.
I know. I worked it out, a half-hour difference. Anyways, I was busy that night. I was washing my hair. So he told us a story about Filoni, how he told Filoni about they should move more into the religious aspect of the Jedi, and how they're more like a cultish thing during Clone Wars. And when he was trying to get a job as a writer, and Filoni was disgusted that he brought that up because he didn't think of it, so he fired the man. Like, he didn't hire him. Like, this is the same guy who will... He's a corporate dude. He wants to be up Lucas's ass. He did what he wanted. He got up Lucas's ass too. Everyone wanted him to be the number 2 guy. This guy doesn't know the product. He doesn't understand it, and it makes me sick. Stop talking Clone Wars, because there was a lot of writers on the Clone Wars. He just was head writer. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing is in Return of the Jedi, there are so many references to Luke actually becoming a Jedi.
Right, finishing
There's the part where Vader says, you know, you've constructed your own lightsaber.
Yep.
Your skills are now complete.
Yeah,
right?
or Yoda telling him he's done.
Or Yoda goes,
you're going to be the last Jedi.
That's right. But also, too, there's like the moment where Luke has that realization and he goes, so I am the last Jedi.
Right.
We'll see what that all means. He's going to say whatever's convenient to the conversation at that time. Since we're in the day and age where no man can be a Jedi, it's got to be all girl, go girl. The minute that shit flips, should he still be around, he will go and say Luke was a Jedi all along. That's all he's doing. He's saying what they want him to say. He goes by the script. He doesn't step out of line with the script, almost like a newscaster. That he says what he needs to say.
This is also why I always say that, you know, everybody's like, oh, Kathleen Kennedy needs to go. Kathleen Kennedy needs to go. Yeah, those people that say that, you're not wrong. She needs to go. But that ain't going to change shit. That ain't going to change shit.
They got to be separated from Disney. I'm not saying that just because my Disney. It's just because of all the personnel that's involved with Disney.
That's
the
right.
issue.
They need to do a
you look at
massive
it top
clean-out.
to bottom. You look at it top to bottom. So unless you did a massive clean out of Disney, that's a different
But
argument.
the sad part is where we're at in entertainment. It's like even if like Disney were to get rid of Star Wars, like who would you trust with it at this point? Would you trust
George
Comcast
Lucas.
or Warner
George
Brothers?
George Lucas will buy it back off them for $1 billion, and he's
that
made
guy
$3
does have
billion.
he does have a pretty good track record when it comes to Star Wars. This George Lucas guy, but
He
I
did
think
make
this
3
is,
good movies.
dude. I appreciate the prequels so much more after the Disney trilogy. Like legit,
That still doesn't make him good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wait,
I
no,
love
now,
relatively.
hold on. Now,
I
hold on.
argue-
No,
I
I
argue-
I want to hear what Mark has to
like,
say. Shush, Mark.
Yo.
Thank you, Raging.
Go.
No, it's like I understand that bashing the prequels has come like back into style and everything like that. But when you sat and watched those in the movies, the lightsaber fights and all that stuff, that did not move you. That did not entertain you. Were you not entertained?
I broke
No, there
up
were
with
good
I
parts.
broke up with my girlfriend at the time because she fell asleep during Revenge of the Sith. I said, "How dare you?"
But not only that, they actually still, despite the bad dialogue in some of the
Most of-
prequels and some of like the bad character decisions, and
Most
a
of
couple of, there are a couple of bad things in there. It
Yes.
still made sense within the continuity of Star Wars.
Yes, yes.
100%. You can't say that it didn't. Now,
I just didn't like Hayden Christensen. I think him and what's her name, Padme, were a bad choice. They had no connection at all. You didn't see it, you didn't feel it, and it's supposed to be the most forbidden love in the world of Star Wars.
I
and
think a
you
lot
didn't
of
feel
that's
any
the
of it.
directing. I think the
And the
directing.
writing.
Yeah. Well, coming from the same guy who doesn't, he's not a fan of actors. His
No,
words.
he's not. His words. Yep.
But what was I gonna say? All right, before what I was gonna say was the way we can get to a place where people actually care about making Star Wars if we let them burn it down. That's why we should be cheering them on to come out with more garbage shit.
Hey, I've said I want the
agree.
Ryan
Make
Johnson
it
trilogy.
worthless.
I
Make it
want the
worthless.
Ryan Johnson trilogy to happen because I'm
Absolutely.
that far removed from it
So-
now. that
right.
The best
And
thing
think of
for
the
them to
content.
do is
We'll
to
make
do
money.
that and destroy it more.
Yeah, and we'll make money. Let me just read this real quick. So they were asking Favreau and Filoni questions about okay, so I don't know the exact question here. The two discussed the Darksaber and whether Grogu was the first Jedi Mandalorian since Tar Vizsla, and whether the Darksaber is tied to Grogu's destiny, as well as Din Djarin. So Favreau says it's interesting. That would be smart literary device. Yeah, interesting. These are very good questions. He goes on to say, seemingly talk about how Sabine Wren, because she was trained, that she may have been a little bit closer to like a Mandalorian Jedi, but not an actual Jedi. Filoni responds, I don't know if I'd call her a Jedi, though. The interesting question is how you define when someone is a Jedi. That's the real question, because the Jedi is a way of training. It's a way of philosophy and being. And Favreau then responds, well, Grogu trained with a Jedi. It's here that Filoni claims that Luke Skywalker wasn't actually a Jedi. He tells Favreau he trained when he was young, and so did Luke. Yoda didn't confirm that he was a Jedi, remember? He says, oh, you think you're a Jedi? Not so fast. He had to pass the trials. Favreau corrects him, but he also said, you'll be the last Jedi when I'm gone.
Yep.
The dude is a moron.
Moron.
The dude
Yeah,
is a
at least
moron.
Favreau, kind of shut him
Corrected.
down on that.
Yeah, kind of corrected him a little bit. But he corrected him using Grogu as the example.
He did correct him a little bit.
He corrected him by saying, but he trained with Luke, which is a Jedi. Like, how about just using the context that we've got from Return of the Jedi?
That's what he
say,
did, though.
Vader
But
said,
he does right there in that line.
Filoni says you'll be he quotes Yoda when Yoda says you'll be the last Jedi when I'm gone.
Sorry, my bad.
No, Favreau.
Yeah,
says that.
Favreau.
Sorry,
That's what
I
said.
thought Filoni said that.
No, Filoni said that. Filoni said, Yoda said, "Oh, you think you're the Jedi? Not so fast. He had to pass the trials." He's talking like freaking Empire Strikes Back. But in Return of the Jedi, he says, "You will be the last Jedi when I'm gone," meaning I'm about to die. You're the only one left of us. Like
Pass on what you have learned.
Exactly.
But
he's not
But
saying
he did say he had to face Vader, right?
right, and he does.
Yeah.
And he does.
So he's a Jedi.
And
Yeah,
Vader also tells him that he's a Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he
didn't
also
win. It was
says
kind of
he
a
is.
split decision.
He literally says, "I'm a Jedi like my father before me." Like he even knows he's a Jedi. So it's
Even
not
Jabba the Hutt acknowledged him as a Jedi, right? Didn't he
Yeah.
say something like
At
the
the
Jedi
beginning
mind
of the
tricks won't
movie.
work on me, right?
Yep.
So it's
And
like
he
he didn't
built
watch
his own
the Return of the
lightsaber
Jedi.
like he was supposed to.
Yeah.
There's
Yes.
even a deleted scene of him building a lightsaber.
It's
Your
not to say
mind
that he
tricks
didn't watch
won't
it,
work
Mark.
on me,
It's more the
Jedi.
fact that he watched it and he wants to now change it to suit his narrative.
Absolutely.
It's
Well,
not
'cause-
obviously Dave Filoni would have watched Return of the Jedi. Oh,
right.
obvious. But
He'll make one of his
well,
characters
it's
the
not
Last
that
Jedi.
obvious. Yeah, based on that, what he said. Yes,
Right.
But he wants to change it so that he can do what he wants to do. And again, it's so that he can make Ahsoka what he wants Ahsoka to be. It's so that he can make Grogu what he wants Grogu to be without having to, again, adhere to the lore, the continuity and the canon of Star Wars.
Right.
He can just make it what he wants.
I'm pretty sure
he's
Scott's going to
doing
want
what
to.
exactly he wants, not what works for Star Wars. He's got to make it about the things that he's helping create. Obviously, Ahsoka Tano, Grogu, those are his creations. We're seeing the same pattern with Marvel. They skipped 30, 40 years of lore so they could do their characters under the Disney Marvel thing. And this is obviously, there's a pattern here. It's not a coincidence.
It's like with the sorry, Matt. Let me just get this out really quickly. It's like with the hyperspace travel, and I brought this up a lot, right?
Okay.
But it's like with the hyperspace travel in Star Wars now. So the only reason why in this first episode of Mando we actually saw any hyperspace actual travel was so that they could jangle the keys of the Purgles, right? The space whales. It was in between the planet of where the Mandalorians were and Navarro. Right? When he goes from Navarro to the planet where Bo-Katan is, we don't see him in hyperspace, and it is literally just teleportation. He is there. There's no time that takes place. We don't know how much time's taken place. Like, how long did it take you to get there? How long were you having to sit in that damn cockpit for? Like, there's none of that. It is literally just he's there. And you think about that in regards to the OT, right? When Han was with Luke and Obi-Wan and they were traveling and they ended up running into the Death Star, right? How long? Like, they're sitting around while Luke's doing his training on the ship and all of that sort of thing. There's travel time. There's all of these things. There's hyperspace lanes. Those things don't mean anything anymore, at all. So, like, they just, again, turn it into what they want to turn it into, and people get distracted by the cuteness and the pew pew. And it's funny because people say, "Oh, you just don't understand it. You just want lightsabers and pew pew all the time." It's like, yeah, okay. Don't get me wrong. I want lightsabers. I want pew pew. But you're literally being distracted by the pew pew, and you're not thinking about it critically. You're not thinking.
Not to mention, I think George Lucas.
Universe.
A lot of what George Lucas was doing was inspired by the old Saturday morning serials, and I think that's where the opening crawl concept comes from as well. This is what I was talking about on Twitter. You know, Star Wars, it had that opening crawl for a reason. You know, so between episodes, you don't have to be asking questions like this. They could have explained why Grogu was still with the Mandalorian, but they seem to have forgotten this concept that it is a throwback to the Saturday morning serials. So they lost the whole structure by overlooking that. That's the reason why you have this breakdown.
Because they aren't writers. These aren't continuity writers. These are writers who watch Rick and Morty and talk on Twitter, and they get promoted to shows like Star Wars and fuck it up. That's what they do. They fail
Rick and Morty has better continuity than Disney Star Wars.
True.
Yeah,
but yeah, those
I don't know. I don't
in
watch
Marvel.
it. Well, I'm just saying that's literally who they get writers from.
Before I just wanted to say something positive about the show before Ryan tears apart the straw man that just popped up in the chat. I'll say this, okay? For as bad as this show may be, their use of volume of the technology is far better than anything you see in Marvel. It is embarrassing when the visuals of this Disney Plus show is light years ahead of the multi-$100 million movie that was at the theater last week. It is embarrassing that they're both coming from Disney.
That's true.
I disagree because
that's surprising.
Because when you actually need that background shot, it's just blurry, right? Like you went so the standoff between the pirates and Din Djarin and what's his name?
Apollo Creed.
Apollo Creed.
Yep.
Go back and watch that again and look at the background. Just pay no attention to what's happening on the screen. Look at the background.
Okay,
it's blurry.
But when they fought the alligator, the freshwater pond alligator thing, though, it was clear. It
was
looked
such a powerful moment.
Okay, maybe okay, fair.
Pretty
call.
sure it was a crocodile.
Yeah, it was
They
a
owe us
crocodile
that,
turtle.
though.
It was a
think
crocodile.
think about Kenobi though. You know, Kenobi
Oh,
looked
that
like
was
a
terrible.
freaking high
you look like
school
garbage.
stage
Yeah.
play.
Yeah,
That's why this show,
it definitely does better.
looks better than anything Marvel's doing with the same bullshit volume.
Look at the evolution of the town. I mean, it went from like a Western, broke down town with with nobody like there to be like the marshal to now a town that looks gorgeous. Like, I'll give them
That's
that.
about the only thing that shows a passage of time.
That's it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Monkey Jeebus
There's
says
a straw man.
the whole thing would be about traveling. But, we made the same, personally, I made the same issues with the last couple seasons of Game of Thrones where people warped to different areas of Westeros, which would have took months for them to get to. They got there in days.
Well, I don't think
it bothered me.
I'm going to stand up for Ryan here because, he's not good at yelling at people about this.
Not at all. He's very shy.
Rhino was not saying that, man, I wish they would have showed them traveling from one point to another point all the time. No, it's establishing that it is actually happening. No one is asking for a walking simulator in these shows.
No,
it's talking
some
about
passage of
establishing
time.
the world in which they live in.
Right.
And in that world,
that was a long trip.
That brings me back to the fact that in
Sorry,
the first
man. I didn't mean to cut you off.
first two seasons, apparently that was many years. Nobody who was watching the show thought that those first two seasons took place over many years.
Well, you know why, Rhino? Because they
not-
never even once gave us a feeling of time. Like, wow, that
That's
took
right.
2 weeks to find this part. Sorry, while they were
See-
fixing his ship. They
But
could have
see-
told
Or
us
even
that.
throw in a line that says it's going to take us, 3.5 weeks
months.
to travel
Yeah.
from here to here.
That's right, and then
get
do
comfy.
your time jump, or something,
Yeah,
or
listen,
midway
you
through the
guys-
trip, he's got to stop or whatever.
But
Wow,
this is a
believe
problem
like a
in
video game
this is a
mission.
problem in all of
Like
them.
if Grogu
because-
was really training, was really training with Luke for 2 years, then why did Luke look exactly the same way he did when he picked him up? Apparently 2 years ago, they couldn't have him be a little bit overgrown or something like that. One little hair out of place. No, we don't believe it.
But
You know, and
also
that's what
in
we're
2
talking
years,
about. You don't just get hung up on time,
Right.
but you have to sell us that time is actually elapsed.
and another
what I
thing,
mean?
Mark, is 2 years. Then Grogu is in the special ed class because he learned nothing in 2 years.
And
Yeah,
also
in 2
with the 2
years.
year,
Well, he learned
They
how
never
to
mentioned
take
that
an
on
M&M from the
Boba.
bowl.
they never mentioned on Boba Fett. Like, if that was the reason, it's clear that they thought that reason with the 2 year gap at the last minute because they could have explained a time gap of where Boba Fett was taking place at, but they didn't. When you watch it, you assume that it's right after Mando season 3. Now, I don't know if it is officially. Someone can fact check for where it takes place after. But when you look at that, you don't think, okay, there's a big long gap. It feels just like almost like Saturday to Sunday. It just feels like that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it
This
was
isn't
like
the-
Grogu was away for a week, if anything, and they're
Right.
calling
But,
it 2 years.
This is where the mistakes all start really coming to light because even in that fight against the pirates, right? Mando does this spin maneuver, right? Because he's being blasted at and he's in his ship and he does this spin maneuver. And he has to hold Grogu's head down because apparently
Yeah, he
gravity in space
What?
is going to make him hit the roof, right? So it's kind of like I start thinking about the Millennium Falcon in A New Hope,
Right,
when,
going through the asteroids.
well, not even that bit. In A New Hope, after Luke sees Ben die, right?
Oh, right.
And Leia puts the little blanket over him, and they're sitting in that thing, and they're trying to escape from the TIE fighters, right? Han does a couple of maneuvers. Why aren't they bouncing up and
Right.
down? It's kind of like again with the Force Awakens when BB-8 is bumping around the inside the Millennium Falcon. Like, what happened to inertial dampeners that actually create gravity within the ship?
Artificial gravity.
Artificial gravity even doesn't matter which way you're facing. There's no up and down in space, right? But in Din Djarin's ship, because Grogu's in his lap, he does this maneuver. He's all of a sudden, the ship shows as being upside down. But in space, again, there is no up and down, right? But he's got to hold his head down so he doesn't hit the roof. Like, that to me
is dumb.
Is a massive eyesore when I'm thinking this is supposed to be Star Wars.
Right.
It's immersion breaking.
Right. And well, that's another thing. They undersell the intellect of Star Wars fans. And literally believe that the normies will just be like, not even think of something like that. But
they do.
But that's the thing. They do. People bring this shit up. And it's like, you're not even selling it to people that aren't true fans. So
bad. Real quick on the traveling, it's a problem in multiple shows. You already brought up Game of Thrones.
Big time.
Lord of the Rings, it was brought up multiple times, the Rings of Power, because suddenly, they're from here to there, just all of a sudden. Picard, the new season, which I've liked. Right? The captain goes to sleep and they get all the way to their destination while the captain is asleep. Wow. I don't know how far that was supposed to be, but if they're launching from a base and going all the way to the outskirts of Federation space,
right,
it doesn't happen in the 5 hours that he was taking a nap.
Who's the captain?
Shaw or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because why would Picard have to sleep? Because he's dead.
No, Shaw went to
soulless.
bed, and 7 of 9 hijacks the ship for them and takes them the opposite direction. But
While
they're
he's
there
sleeping.
in the amount of time that he is asleep. So every show is doing this, and it is maddening because we all notice it. I don't know how many
By the way,
normies
Brom,
notice
did you
it,
watch
but we
the,
notice it.
Before we move away from that real quick, did you watch that latest episode? Episode 3?
Yeah.
That was pretty damn good.
Do I have to watch this?
I've liked this season.
Many people have said it's a good season. Like, it's real.
I watched the first season and fell asleep through most of it.
It was terrible.
I refused to watch the second season, but based on the people who have seen the full season, I said,
I don't have
I
to
will
see
watch
season
this.
2. I don't have to watch
No.
season 2?
No, this could be a
absolutely not.
standalone on its own. It's basically a going away party for the next generation, I guess.
Okay.
So
what they did
I'm
hold
glad
on
with
one
them
second,
getting a good
guys.
send off.
1 second. Jacob has to roll out. Jacob, thank you for being here, brother. I'm sorry.
One with your fights.
I felt like you were just so in the background tonight, and I don't like that. I don't want to put baby in the corner.
It's because I'm here again.
No, it's okay.
If he didn't watch the show, that's why. I know. how it is.
But Jacob, let them know where they can find you and what was your most recent article you wrote.
So the most recent one is actually about California taxing, fining film studios about not being woke enough in their casting.
We're going over that as you leave. When you leave, we're going over it.
I know, right? It would have been great if I was here, but so I'm doing that. That one's next, and then, like I said, I'm about to jump over to the UFC stream on
all right, man.
Review, so I'll check you guys out in a bit.
Yeah, and we'll send people your way, buddy.
Later, Jacob.
Thanks,
Take care, Jacob. Nice to see you, man.
So real quick, Mr. Tickle Trunk, a while back, and I'm sorry I'm just getting this, my friend, because I love Mr. Tickle Trunk's been a big supporter of the channel. Canadian $2. He says $2 in Monopoly money and back kisses for Scott. That is so sweet. Thank you, sir.
Aw.
That was sweet. And Terminus S for $5 says, I have a question about the pants Pedro was wearing. Was he at the Mandalorian premiere or was he at the SAG Awards?
He's like, he's open season.
That's a good question.
Terminus strikes
It
again.
was the premiere.
It was the premiere.
If it's legitimate premiere.
The joke is his pants.
Pretty sure it was sarcasm about the saggy.
Yeah, we got that. SAG Awards. Yeah.
But
I just want to touch on
Terminus on
something.
fire.
Zach's in the chat says, where is it? That one there. Yeah. They don't trust themselves to follow their own rules. Like, that is interesting because the Darksaber, for example, right? It was established in season 2 of The Mandalorian that to wield the Darksaber, you need to win the Darksaber in combat.
Right.
But they've removed away from their own canon in the fact that Sabine in Rebels actually just handed the Darksaber to Bo-Katan.
Right.
And she wielded it, and that happened in front of all the other Mandalorians.
And they followed
They
her.
were all more than happy to follow her.
Yep.
There wasn't one in combat. This is where, again, they make the rules as they go, and they change it as they need to change it, just to, you know, it's just so that Din Djarin has to carry the lightsaber now, the Darksaber.
So I just want to say something to Tim real quick. Tim, we agree you can cut out the travel scenes. It's give us the feeling that there was travel, that time has elapsed. And a lot of these shows like Game of Thrones, the last like the first season, right off the rip, you realize that King Robert traveled like a month and a half to get to the north. When they travel back, it feels like a long trip to get back to King's Landing. But by the end, it was literally overnight. People were, you know, in the north and back down into the south like it was nothing. So give us the feeling of
not the
time.
feeling, but
you know what else also? What else also is that?
Hold on one second. Go Mark
go
and then
ahead,
Mad. No, go Mark.
Also, you know, I think what George Lucas did so well is, like, you look at Obi-Wan, young Obi-Wan in the prequels and everything, how he changed from movie to movie. You know, even Anakin, like a scar came up on his face. You know, Luke between the movies. It's like you see how the time had gone by, not just because it took longer to make the movies, but you could tell he did some living, he did some fighting. Now you're talking about a 2-year gap, you know, with the whole Grogu thing and everything like that. It's like there should be some signs of something,
right?
You know,
even with the traveling,
2 years between
some growth.
You should be able to see the effects of that travel. I don't know about y'all, but when I travel across the country, shit's different when I get there. My ass hurts. I can't feel it. It's numb.
Knees are bothering me, right?
Yeah.
Well,
good point.
The other thing too is in Andor, where we get to see 3 different scenes of Cyril eating cereal. You want to talk about boring? Like, you know, they're going to give some time to something like that, but they can't even give some time to show time go by. Like, hyperspace travel takes time. You got to program, and that's the other thing too, is programming in hyperspace routes, right, and things like that. The importance of hyperspace lanes. They've removed that from Star Wars in Disney Star Wars as well. Why is the blockade in Phantom Menace so important, right? Because the ships are covering the hyperspace lane. It's not like they're covering the entire. But in Disney Star Wars, they wouldn't have had to get past the ships before they could make the jump. They could just make the jump.
Right.
There's all of those little elements that create the rules in the universe that you need to abide to, and you need to show it actually taking time. We just mentioned earlier that Jon Favreau said that Grogu spent 2 years with Luke, and first season 1 and season 2 took place over many years. And they didn't show us; they told us. They didn't show us; they told us.
An interdictor would not have any use in Star Wars if it wasn't blocking a lane where they know somebody is going to be traveling.
100%.
Otherwise, you're just, you know, in the middle of space. It's a pretty big place.
I'm not saying that they need to show us the entire length of time in hyperspace that it takes, but like at least go to a cut where they're in hyperspace and something is happening or whatever. And like I said, like when they're traveling from Tatooine to like in A New Hope to Alderaan. And like Luke is doing the training, and you know Han comes out of the cockpit and he's just sitting there watching Luke, right? Like that to me establishes in that very short period of time that there's a good lengthy amount of time going by, because Han's not worried about anything. He's not worried about piloting the ship. The ship's just doing its thing. It's on autopilot. It's traveling through hyperspace, and that's it. I
want to ask a question because Monkey Jeebus has a point here, and now that he wrote this, I kind of remember him saying it this way, that the explanation is not in the past when she took it, but because she lost it to Gideon, that's when they started to blame her for losing it because she didn't win it through battle. Now, I could see it both ways, people picking it both ways because I don't think they really gave it to you clear enough. But maybe if I went back and watched it again, maybe
she lost it to Moff Gideon.
Right, and that's why they blame her.
It to Moff Gideon, or something happened where it's all off screen, so we don't know exactly.
So she lost it to him. That's all we know.
And Din Djarin goes to hand it to her at the season finale of season 2. It still doesn't add up to me. It still doesn't make sense to me. They've changed the rules. They've changed the dynamic around it. I mean, let's even talk about the weight that the Darksaber now has. If the Darksaber senses, because it's got a mind of its own now, if the Darksaber senses that the user isn't using the Darksaber in the way the Darksaber wants to be used, it's going to get really heavy.
Yeah.
And stuff.
What was that shit all about?
It's the same as Mirror.
I thought it was like the Elder Wand.
Like Mirror. In Love and Thunder, you know how Mirror had an attitude problem?
Yeah,
same thing with the Black Saber.
It's
the Sword of Truth.
It's stupid. So that also means to me that the Darksaber wanted Moff Gideon to wield it because it never got heavy for him.
Right.
When he was fighting Din Djarin in that final episode of Mandalorian season 3,
that thing was light as hell.
It wasn't getting heavy. It wasn't getting heavy. So they just, again, come Book of Boba Fett, they just make it up so that they can create a whole new mystery thing so that the SEALs will go, oh my God, the Darksaber gets heavy. What does that mean?
The other thing from this episode, though, is he goes to meet with Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan wants something from him. He wants something from her. Why wouldn't she say, yeah, let's have a sparring match. If I beat you, I get the Darksaber, and I'll give you the information you need about Mandalore.
Because you're fucking emo as shit.
She's just a whiny little bitch, and then she gives him the information anyway without any negotiation, nothing. I mean, they could have literally had them spar and said, okay, you beat me, here's your Darksaber. Now go collect all the Mandalorians. But they just decided to make her be whiny and, throw a fit about everything instead of doing anything with that scene.
Right.
Guys, if you're out there...
It doesn't make sense.
If you're enjoying it, well, all I can really say is good for you.
Yeah.
Right? I can't sit there and turn my brain off and get through all of these things, Grogu crawling through the ship. And in that end scene when he ends up on the planet with Bo-Katan, right? They land, Grogu ducks down through the thing, goes through the engine, and comes up in his little pod thing. Right? Like, they've removed the fact that Din Djarin might have to actually pick him up out of the ship. And they've just made it like very easy, very simple. It's like, quick, let's just get to the next thing so that it distracts them. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah, like an ejector seat.
Whatever it may be.
Well,
yeah.
And if a droid is usually back there, why would they have a way for it to, a little tunnel for it to go through anyway?
Sex droid. Small Time Republic says Lucasfilm exec Matt Martin has said it's all fake anyway. They don't care about the continuity at all. I agree.
This is the thing. They need to establish it in the, I don't want to say in the real world because it's not, but they need that world, that universe is a real universe, right? Yeah. Even though it's not, you get what I'm saying. It's
it has
not
rules.
real, but
it has rules.
It has rules. It has established law.
Right. And if you're going to give us that, stick to it. That's it. I want to know if anybody else, I have never saw this interview until recently, and I found it to be really sad because this was probably before they pee-pee slapped Mark Hamill into being a bitch about The Last Jedi. So, and Daisy Ridley agrees with him. So here we go.
Yeah.
There was a misunderstanding.
Yeah. Let's watch it and then, Brahma, I want your take.
There was a misunderstanding of how I saw a Jedi. And I said to Ryan, this is fundamentally flawed. You being removed from Finn, that didn't feel good. I mean, there's lots of things for each of the actors where you go, I didn't see that coming.
It took us a while to reconcile our feelings. It will be interesting to see if, given time, people feel differently about the story.
Yeah.
Because you, I guess, share what a lot of people thought.
Right.
I think a lot of people expressed sort of similar feelings initially.
This is a man who used to love Star Wars and used to believe in Star Wars, and they took our Luke Skywalker and beat him into submission, and now they expect us to be like that. Because pretty much he was just saying, I don't agree with a Jedi shouldn't do this, or Finn and you should have stuck together, and none of them care because it's consume, do as I tell you, consume the product, and shut the hell up. And it broke my heart watching that. I was like, damn, Mark Hamill used to have like some marbles, some scruples, maybe is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, and time did not fix that story.
No, man.
Why? Because it was a freaking space chase. There was nothing in The Last Jedi that was
take out that whole
watching.
space chase. It doesn't change
Nothing in
anything.
the
It doesn't affect anything.
It's terrible.
What, Rhino?
The entire sequel trilogy.
No.
The entire sequel trilogy is just a jumbled mess of constant retcons and
a tearing down of Luke's character.
And yeah.
Well,
because they don't, dude. The writers don't. These writers don't connect to heroes. They connect to themselves. They don't believe in heroes. They see heroes as, if anything, they have more in common with the villains. Why do you think they try to like push that gray area so hard with these characters? Like they say, okay, well, because this person's doing a bad thing because their feelings are horrible. Well, it affects me, so I can do this bad thing because it affects me. They relate more to villains. They don't understand heroes. They don't believe in heroes.
I mean, when your mom gets killed by Dalmatians, you're gonna want to skin a couple.
Right. They wrecked on that
justified.
shit.
That clip just brings back the my reason for doing this, because you guys have heard it a billion times about my son and everything like that, and it actually, she's talking about time passing. It actually hurts more now because now that he's older, he's going to be like 15 this year. But I remember the precise moment we were sitting in there in The Last Jedi and him turning to me and saying, "Dad, why is Luke Skywalker acting like that?" It's like I saw his childhood die right in front of me because he loved Luke Skywalker.
That's
you know what I mean? And that shit right there took some very vital time from me and my son that I was looking forward to for years.
Yep.
So even though sometimes I joke about it on camera and, in my videos, I like to have fun with it and shit. It's like, that's something that I took like to the heart.
Yeah.
Because, what they did wasn't just betrayed the kids, of not just, old
our
kids
generation,
like us and stuff like that.
Right.
But the young kids. I remember doing stories about people who wanted a special screening of The Last Jedi because they were dying. And they wanted to see what happened after The Force Awakens because they just knew that Luke was going to come in and be the hero, but they frivolously gave us this bullshit story about, sometimes you have regrets when you get older. That's not what Star Wars is about. It's about inspiration, it's about hope.
Yeah,
but your experience,
my biggest problem
is heroes, and see, Mark, you're bringing a great point. I'm glad you mentioned that about your son. Because they want your son to see it as there's no such thing as heroes.
Right.
That's who they are trying to speak that message to. You and I already know way better. Like, we understand here. But they see that message as to your son because they're trying to get to they don't care about, they're trying to replace us with them. Like your son, my daughters, to put that message in their head that there are no heroes.
Well, your experience, Mark, is a great example because of the fact that Disney Star Wars has basically said, we're doing this for the new fans. Well, hang on a second. It's generational. The Star Wars fans that were around in the late 70s, early 80s, the Star Wars fans that then came through because of the sequel trilogy in the 90s and the early 2000s, it's generational. Like, you pass that shit down to your kids. You want them to actually enjoy this story because it's more than just space wizards in space, pew pew lightsabers and things like that. There's the story behind it, and it definitely still teaches life lessons for people.
Right.
Redemption, fucking fathers and sons, fathers and daughters.
They don't want that.
Like, there's a lot of that in there, and the problem is it's like what you're saying, Mark. You want to pass this down to your son. He loved what he was getting from the originals, from the prequels, all of that sort of thing. And then they come out with this and it completely changes everything. And it's like, well, this doesn't make any sense anymore.
Well, Raging, and then we'll go to Mad. Raging, their mantra was, forget the past, kill it if you have to. Like, that is their whole belief. It's like, they don't want that connection between a father and son. Like, sometimes that's all a father and son have is like sports. Some father and son, that's the only time they connect. Some, like us nerds, maybe they only connect to that. And they're taking away that moment of connection where, like, it can save a relationship. And they don't realize the importance of these movies where I don't care how corny it is, where the good guy wins and the good guy never fails and he never folds and he doesn't actually, he might be tempted, but he doesn't go to the dark side. Like, we need more of that in film today. And Bat Manuel says it even better. And villains can't even be evil anymore. We have to understand why villains are scumbags.
Well, it's Marxist theory. I mean,
Yeah.
they don't want, parents and kids connecting. They don't want you to have a hero. They don't want anything good. They want everything to be taken apart.
So sad.
Because then
That's
it's
why they
easier
do
to
it
put
the
back together
family.
in the image that they want it in.
Yeah, they do it to the family. They're doing it to heroes. They're crumbling every single aspect of what's considered Western society. If it's Western society, I hate make it sound like we're going a political route, but they are kind of connected to a point.
That's where the roots are.
Yeah, that's where the roots are with the politics. But yeah, and obviously Brahma, this is our territory. But yeah, they're taking apart every single thing that connects us. And obviously Star Wars has become very popular in America and has been going on for 3-4 decades, so on and so forth. Obviously, it transcends worldwide, obviously, but it started out as a Western society thing. So they're going to correlate to the root of where it came from, Western society.
Yep.
And they see that. They see the Marvels, the DCs. That's why they're not leaving any one thing untouched. They're not looking like, okay, hey, keep your hands off this. We won't mess with it. They're looking at every single thing and doing that. And they're not going to stop. They're going to remake every single thing under the sun and destroy it so that you're just left feeling like an empty, broken shell of a man. That's what they want to make you feel lifeless, like you're helpless.
My biggest issue with The Last Jedi.
Go mad.
All right, my biggest issue with The Last Jedi was that it was unearned. I had no problem with Luke being this character that has lost some sense of hope. But it has to have two things, right? One, you have to earn it. You have to show us why he is in that place. And two, he has to have a redemption. Not a ooh, in my mind I'm there kind of a fucking a true redemptive arc. Because that, as powerful as it is to see Luke as Luke when we left him in Return of the Jedi, it's just as powerful to see him have that return to the light.
Right. That you're absolutely right, man. You're absolutely right.
We did not have that.
We didn't get it.
But he should never have been removed from the Force or anything like that. The way they did it for him to have to.
That's what I'm saying.
And the SEALs out there think his redemption was great because he, Skyped himself across the universe to fake fight Kylo Ren. Like they think that was really good, and it's the same.
Well, that's why I predicated it with it has to be earned.
Right.
That loss has to be earned.
Right.
But
What
it's
he
the same
did
with,
for
like,
how many years was he on that island?
But it's the same with Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? In the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, he cuts himself off from the Force for 10 years. Like, that doesn't add up with the way it ended in Revenge of the Sith in regards to Yoda telling him, like, I've got training for you. I've been able to commune with Qui-Gon. All of that sort of thing. Like, it doesn't make sense, and they don't give a flying fuck.
But literally,
about
he's in the show trying to hear for his master, but yet he's cut off from the Force. So how are you going to hear your master? Like they contradict themselves in the show itself. Like he's literally trying to talk to him. But yet you cut yourself off from the Force and you still have not come back to the Force. So have you been spending the last 10 years trying to talk to a guy that you cut off to the Force so he can't talk to you anyway? Like, makes no sense to me. Let me read these real quick. I'm going to first start. Zombie Box Review had a great super sticker for $2. He gave me the thumbs up. Corgi Toxic Man Flu says one word: metachlorians. Star Wars has been poop since Phantom Menace. Jar Jar is a Sith. I wish he was. Brahma is Darth Vader. Blah blah blah. Thank you, my brother. Toxic, you're always welcome on the show. E. Clay Thomason for 99 cents. Probably a thumbs up. Thank you, my friend. And Comics Chat over here. What up, Spork, Mark, Nick Weiser, and fellas? Check out Danny's channel. Comic Chat is great. $2. Thank you so much, sir. What up, Walton?
What's going on, Danny?
Can I?
Yeah, please, Mark. Yeah, that's Steven, but you go first, Mark.
I just wanted to speak to a comment from Monkey Jeebus a little far back there because he said, you are your child's hero. Don't look to characters on TV. Now, that I can agree with, but I will say this. This is something that I heard Eric July say before, and it's something that I've always known, is that our enemies figured out how to use what we love against us before we ever did. You know what I mean? Like, we just see it all as entertainment, just characters on TV. but there's a power in symbolism. There's a power in being able to share the things that you see that you agree with, that coincides with your heart and your soul, you know, things that resonate with you. So if you want to share the story of Luke Skywalker or Spider-Man or Black Panther or whatever with your kids, it's because somehow that expands the experience between you and your kids. You know, what, you know, your what's traditional to you or whatever, your values, you know, but we just see it as entertainment on this side, but our enemies see it as something that could be used against the kids to sway, exactly, weaponized to use to their, you know, to further their agenda. So that's the reason why they got a leg up on us, because they don't just, they know that it's not just entertainment. It's not just characters on TV. And we can't be with our kids 24/7. So there are going to be influences outside of our home. This is why you have to protect the things that you care about. You know, you have to protect the purity of that, you know?
Can I bounce off of Mark's comment? Because Mark has a very great point there. And here's the thing. We grow up with these stories because it gives us stuff to like get inspired by. It gives us imagination. Sometimes it might inspire us to make our own stories. It gives us discussion. It helps create fandoms. It brings friends together. It brings people who, obviously guys like all of us from Rome, obviously Rhino's from Australia. We all these people who brought to the world because we have a bond. These things create bonds with us. It when we go to a comic book shop, or you see some kid like playing like maybe a D&D, or he's wearing some shirt of some obscure DC character, you automatically know, okay, that guy's right. What's up? I gotta strike up a conversation. Before you know it, you're friends. You're having pizza together. These things like build friendships. Sometimes they even build marriages and relationships. Even you might find a girl who might love one of these things as much as you do. They become part of our lives to an extent. So I get what you're saying, Monkey Jeebas, but yes, I see my kids should look up, you know, to their dad first. But the thing is, I want my kids to show them good examples of people doing good in the world. That's all I'm trying to do. They're like, hey, listen, I'm not the only one doing good examples. This is what happens when you see this on a public, you know, on a public level. Look at these cool heroes doing this. You want to show them that because it gives them that extra added hope on their coming up years.
It's not just that either. What I was trying to say before is it's the connection you get from something that, yes, you're your kid's hero. That's fine. But there are times you go through with children growing up as they don't want you to be their hero. They want to look outside because they're growing, they're changing, they're rebelling, but you always will have a connection with them through something. It's not, I do want them to see good versus evil and them winning, but it's about the moments you spend connecting to that, where your kids get to see a little bit of your heart, you know, like a little, go ahead, Walton, please.
The world is dark enough already, right? You got to deal with the reality of people out there who are always trying to step on you, screw you over. Good doesn't always win in the real world. So when you hear people with the passion for stories like Ryan, like Raging Rhino up here, I love hearing you preach, brother. That is a man who loves those lores. People like 32 Flavors and Nick Weiser, he loves the stories that he covers. When I hear people like Mark, which is for why I started following Mark in the first place, why I subscribed to his channels, because he was telling a story about his relationship with his son and how much it was horrible for him to see a character, Luke Skywalker, represented on screen that was not Luke Skywalker. It is because these modern mythologies are not just stories. They reinforce goodness in us. They teach us lessons. All right. That moment where you are put pressure by your boss, by a lover, by somebody out there hating on you, that pressure they're putting on you, you might take that dark path. You might take the low road, or because of the love that you have, the escapism that you get from something like Star Wars, you're going to take the high road. That reinforces who we are as people. It also adds to the armor of who we are as we progress forward in life and be examples for our children. It is not we are having our children emulate those characters. It is just like, it is not only the connection, the inspiration that we get from them to reinforce us to be good people, to take the high road, to make good, positive choices, but it's also a connection with us and our children. We want to share that love. We want to share that experience, that positivity. When the kids are coming up, and eventually a child is going to get to the point where they naturally rebel, as Scott was saying, but they will always have that time that if they're passing through the TV and Star Wars comes up, or Star Trek, or whatever a case may be, they're going to remember that time with dad or mom. They're going to remember the lessons.
God forbid you die young. God forbid. My dad died. My dad died at 56. My dad died at 56, and we had football. And there's moments when I'm watching football because he didn't like the Patriots. He liked the Giants. I like the Patriots, but he took me to Patriot games because he knew I liked them. And there's times where, like, when they first won a Super Bowl after he died, man, I got freaking choked up, you know, because, like, he was with me watching it. So don't belittle that idea of the connection, because there is something special in a connection between father-son, father-daughter, parent-daughter, parents. You know what I mean? Like,
it makes a memory that'll
I want
trigger.
to bounce off something that Nick said earlier. And first of all, I just want to say, good to see you, Stephen Walton. It's been a while.
Thank you, brother. Good to see you, dude.
This is actually the real Stephen Walton too, which is nice.
Yeah.
Just something that Nick said earlier in regards to the connections that you can have in regards to finding friendships and stuff like that. This is what Star Wars has become now, and this is what Disney wants now. There was a tweet that I saw where a person was at work. I may have told this story before. A person went to some new job or something and found out that one of the other employees there was a Star Wars fan. He immediately asks, "What's your favorite ship?" That person's response was Din Cobb. The shipping of Din Djarin and Cobb Vanth. And the dude's like, no, hang on. No, that's not what I meant. What's your favorite starship? Like, what's your favorite ship? Like, that is what Star Wars has become now and that's what Disney has created and what Disney wants Star Wars to be. Like these shippings of characters and stuff like that. Who ever thought, if anyone in the chat was ever asked, what's your favorite ship in Star Wars? Would you think a couple, a relationship between some gay characters or some lesbian characters or some heterosexual characters? No, your immediate thought is, what's your fucking favorite ship? Right? Starship. Like, it blows my mind that this is where we are with Star Wars now.
I know, that's because they're sitting around talking about their genitals. That's what the Lucasfilm story group does. They sit around, what do you identify your genitals as? Who do you use them? What do you use them with? That's all they think about. Like, that's all they care. It's sickness. And it is using, like I'm sorry, real quick, like Mark was saying earlier about these people having a leg up because they're using these myths against us. It's more than that. These are toxic people who are taking something that bring people together. Water cooler talk, friends and family, fathers and sons. They are knowingly using this, appropriating this in order to create an image and division with us, to cast their own bullshit narratives. That is all. It's nefarious what they're doing. These people are evil. They are taking something that brings us together and bonds us together and using to create division and hate under the guise of inclusion. And it's sick. And you're right, Ronald. It's because they're all sitting around talking about their genitals. Pablo's just up on the table, lifting up his skirt and going, I call mine Lucy. And how can we put this in the story?
It's not even fun. Yeah, it's not even a joke, though, Walton. Him and the girl from The Last of Us, she talked about how he made it comfortable because we talked about this and that, and gender was one of them. Like, he's in that class, dude.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what you think, that dude is not someone I support and I back and I think is a good human being. I think he's on the wrong side of it. Like, maybe he has a good soul, but it's twisted and it's wrong right now. I'm sorry.
Hollywood's its own culture, man.
Yes.
It's not about how much money you make. It's who you co-sign to.
They've hijacked everything.
They've
hijacked everything.
I think he is in that group of people who are trying to, or who are very empathetic to others. However, they don't realize that encouraging or even playing along is doing more damage than if they would just say, no, dumb, you're not non-binary. That's not a thing.
Right. Well, so his brother's trans or something like that.
Right, exactly. So, and rather than saying, no, bro, I've seen your peen. We took baths together as kids or what have you. I don't know their lives. What I'm saying, though, is that rather than having to take that hard road of friendship, of brother, of being family, and saying no and trying to help them get on the right path, they're encouraging it because they care.
Right.
Nobody wants to hit anybody with a hard dose of reality.
No, it's done.
Yeah,
it's done, and it's just these people believe like they're in the right, and the thing is there's a difference between like you being offended by us and us really being offensive. Like, you being offended is your feelings. Like, us being offensive, that's something different. Like, we're not trying to offend you. It's your feelings, and we shouldn't be shut down because of your feelings.
Hell, brother.
Well, no,
change
and even
the
if we
goddamn
are
channel.
We can't.
But
give
even
offense.
if we are trying to offend them,
right?
We cannot give offense. They can only be taken. You can take offense to something, but it can't be given.
Maybe that's what I was trying to say. Thank you.
Matt offends me constantly.
Is that the old fans the old fans, and when I
Yeah.
say like the older fans, like pretty much nearly all of us on the panel here, we don't have a voice anymore when
No.
it comes to this. Like, it's all the new fans, it's all the pronoun people. Like, nearly every single person that's sitting there writing like, "Oh, the Mandalorian season 3 was amazing," blah blah blah, on Twitter, have pronouns in their bio. Now,
Right.
I know that that's not necessarily, it shouldn't really mean anything.
Oh, it's a sign.
right? But it's definitely a sign.
Yeah, it's
Right?
definitely
And they're
a sign.
the ones that they continue to listen to. Like, when it comes to me explaining my problems with hyperspace, my problems with this, my problems with that, like, that means nothing to them anymore. As long as they've got the people out there going, "Oh, I love the dynamic of the, Din Djarin being this father figure and all of this kind of thing, the babysitters in space." Like, that's all the Mandalorian is, babysitters in space. That's okay, because, they're the ones that are praising it for what? For nothing? Like, for like, I proposed the question. I can't remember which video it was in, and obviously no one's really going to watch it, but
Well, go watch all his videos.
I proposed the question out there that explain to these people that enjoyed this episode of The Mandalorian, tell me what you enjoyed about it without using the word cute, without using the word visually stunning, and without using the word there was something else. I can't remember. There was
I can already do this.
There was 3 things that I didn't want them to actually use those words and tell me what was so good about the
Too
episode.
easy. Baby Yoda is adorable.
Oh, shut it. Comics chat for $5. Heck,
all is under cute.
No, it doesn't.
I like what Comics has to say. Or Comic Chat says, "The heck with Luke. Mace would kick the Inquisitors' butts. Kylo and Vader too." Yep, I said it.
Yes.
Yeah, Danny's
Mace
right.
is
Like I said in the chat, Mace don't play the bullshit.
Dude,
Right.
he had the Emperor. He had the Emperor. He had the Emperor.
I'm waiting for them to bring Mace back, and I think that's another big mistake. Like, the amount of Jedi that survived Order 66. I mean,
This is
Palpatine
ridiculous.
failed. I'm sorry, but Palpatine failed the purge.
Yes, he did.
And we're already there. And if they bring back Mace Windu, the reason why it's so important that Mace Windu stays dead is because Mace is the one person that would probably actually be able to beat Palpatine. And just because he gets his arm taken off, right? If he survives, what's to say that he can't get a robotic arm like Anakin, like Luke, right? And actually go back and take down the Emperor.
Yes.
His ability to go into that dark side form, right? What's it called?
Where he draws from the dark side.
That's right. That's right. And
Danny used it. Yeah.
Oh, did Danny say it? It's
Danny
Vamp
got it.
something, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
Vapid.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
That's the one. Thank you. So this is the thing. Mace, even though Palpatine lost because it was a manipulation of Anakin, so he intentionally lost in that moment based on the fact that he could sense Anakin coming, right? So Palpatine wasn't actually like too weak or anything like that. It was all a show, right? But in that, still, if Anakin hadn't have chopped his arm off, Mace would have still beaten Palpatine. He would have killed him.
Agreed.
Well, Rhino, you're the expert here. Does Palpatine not have an off switch with his lightning? Because it seems every time he uses it and somebody reverses it, he just keeps shooting it.
Yeah, it happened twice now. It happened twice now.
Can he not go, I should stop?
The first one actually makes sense. Again, it was a manipulation of...
It was a manipulation move.
It was a manipulation of
Right.
Anakin.
What about the second time?
The second time was just stupid.
It's Disney Star Wars.
He should have turned it off.
I imagine it's kind of like when you're like busting a nut. It just feels so good. Why you don't want to stop? You know what I mean? Just keep going.
So
you know what I mean?
it's
Just
the
keep it
equivalent
going,
to vinegar
The point
strokes.
of no return.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, I kissed him. Oh shit.
Yeah,
See,
you're not going to hold that in.
That's a little different. I was going to go like when you're peeing and you try to stop midstream, it kind of stings a little bit.
You
You're
got to
like,
work on that Kegel, man. You got to work on the Kegel.
Eagles bad.
Yeah,
the first one
that's
makes
it.
sense. The first one 100% makes sense because it was a complete manipulation of Anakin, and he needed to do that so that Anakin, thought that he was actually saving his life. When he kind of was in a way, because, like I said, Mace would have been able to beat Palpatine.
Mace
but, yeah.
Sorry, that
Terminus,
one threw me off.
It threw me off too. Terminus asked for $5. Knowing how Disney treated Finn, they may bring back Mace Windu as a janitor. He'd be Mace Windex.
That's messed up.
So fucked up, but it's sad that it may be true.
Yeah. But I can tell you, all of these pronouns people and everything, because I had one of them come after me on Twitter. You know, and they were like, she was saying, well, I don't know if it was she, he, I don't know. Well, actually, she did have she.
There's some creature.
Okay.
There's a creature.
But she was saying that, yes, I do need to see pronouns in Star Wars because, you know, they changed it in Wikipedia or something like that.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I need to see this. I need to see representation. Well, look, you're dealing with an old dude who's been in this game for a long time. And I can promise you, when I was growing up, as weird as it seems, imagination was all we needed to relate to these characters. Right. You know what I mean? You couldn't tell me that anybody else related to Luke Skywalker and Han Solo more than me. It was so much more than about their race. You know what I mean? It was about everything else about them. Everything. You know, so that's the thing that these people just don't understand. They don't belong in this fandom. Yes, I sound like I'm gatekeeping for a reason.
No, I'd argue that you are, but that's for the best because you understand fiction. They can't separate themselves from fiction. They see as everything has to be them.
No, it's
look at the girl who did the Velma show. She made Velma look like her.
Yes.
Well,
look at the girl who did I'm Not Starfire, Mariko Tamaki. Made the character, made her daughter to look like her. She had already pre-written.
It's because it's because they have no confidence in their identity or what they believe, so they constantly have to be reinforced that they're right because they do not believe it themselves. That's why they're constantly asking for you to tell them that you believe it too. Like, oh shit, did you see that ghost? Yeah, I saw it too. Okay, so I'm not crazy. That's all this shit is.
Yeah.
But that's the irony of it. The irony
of it is
where
this whole situation of grooming is coming from, because they want a higher percentage of people that identify the way that they do. Because right now, they don't make up any, major percentage of anything.
No,
they are out there on an island, and they want other people to become like them.
You were talking about toxic people who do not have faith in themselves. They do not do the work. They do not heal themselves. They project everything that they are upon others. So they're that's a part of them creating that division and chaos, so that they can project how they feel onto others. That's why they invade these fandoms. You see a group of people coming together of all different types and all different kinds that are all just around a water cooler talking, getting along, that aren't looking at characters like Luke and going, he's white, I can't identify with him. And they don't have the ability to do that. So they make that the paramount structure of the way they're going to come in and change an entire fandom. It's toxic and it's bullshit.
Yes, like you mentioned Velma, right? You had mentioned Velma. The irony of it is Shaggy is probably one of my favorite characters of all time. At work, everybody knows. They always hear me going, zoinks! They always hear me saying, run for your life, Scoob! That's me at work, And now they changed Shaggy to whatever his name is, Norville or whatever. They made him look black. I can't relate to this. It's like I love Shaggy that I grew up with. The character. It's not, well, you just want to be white. Fuck no. I'm talking about the character.
Right.
I love the character. And that's what they don't understand.
Have you heard that argument, Mark? Do they say that shit? Like you just want to be?
They say that argument.
Have you seen my comment section?
Yeah.
They see. I see the guys.
I'm like, yeah. I want to be white. You think these are issues I might have resolved by now? You know what I mean? But,
it's such a weird thing for them to say that because they feel like they could say that comment and they're not being an actual. I hate saying this, but an actual racist. Like
they are being racist, Nick.
I was like, what the fuck is that shit? Like you're telling someone how they need to act according to their own race. Like what you'll like to see a guy who's a black man be awesome and be like a kick-ass lawyer or like a doctor or successful.
They've been taught though, Nick. They've been taught that there's only white people could be racist. First off, that's what they've been taught.
They're the only ones who are allowed to be successful. Apparently,
well, you saw that girl. Did you see the video of the girl? She's on some podcast and she calls the dude a white boy. And he goes, "Whoa!" He's like, that's kind of racist. And she's like, "Oh, you're one of them." It's like, what is that?
By the way, Mark, not for nothing, but being white's pretty cool though.
I mean, you can come over anytime you want.
Less tickets, better rates on houses and loans.
Yeah, there's that.
I mean, you could be Captain America and you can't get a freaking house, a loan for a boat.
Right?
I mean, shit. What a terrible world.
But it is racist, and it's people who can't reconcile within themselves, and so they project that racism on somebody else. That's why a comment like that's made it, Mark, because that person is insecure about themselves, and they want to create insecurity in him because he's confident with who he is. That's
Well,
all.
did you see that trailer for the blackening?
Ooh, yeah, but I'm interested.
What's going on?
I'm afraid to ask.
Instead of
it's a new horror movie.
New horror movie called The Blackening, and it's just
I'll
black
be finding
cast
that.
of-
I'll be back.
Oh, man, watch it. Like it's
Cabin
that-
of the Woods with
Man.
just an all black cast, and
surprised
they're
you haven't
all
seen it.
it's all.
So the
I
headlines-
like Cabin in the Woods.
Just type in The Blackening in YouTube, and there'll be a trailer.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah,
I keep trying, but fappening comes up. Hold on.
No, I got it. We'll probably, yeah.
This is current day
I'll look it up.
Hollywood.
Jesus,
man.
that's loud. Holy crap, that almost blew out my eardrums.
But by the way, Bishop was my favorite X-Men growing up. I even had a rabbit that I named Bishop because I loved his character, especially in the '90s cartoon where in Days of Future Past he actually played a big part of the story instead of giving it to Wolverine.
Let's not forget a generation in the late 90s, the early 2000s all grew up on Jon Stewart as their Green Lantern as well.
Oh, yeah.
Like even though I'm not going to deny, obviously, Hal Jordan had a legacy, but it's obvious that there was a generation who loved Jon Stewart. They didn't say, look, oh, man. He's a perfect example. He was very military driven. He had a very strong, inspiring look to him, and he demanded, respect in the room. He was a leader. He was definitely in charge in the room. He demanded respect, and obviously, Jon Stewart is a very well-written, nuanced character.
Yeah, he is.
I'm just going to say from this photo right here, it looks like a comedy to me.
It looks like a comedy.
Yeah, same here.
Let's just play
it's
it and let's
supposed to be
see.
a comedy horror.
I bet somebody says nope.
Is that really loud?
No. Yeah.
I hate. Can you pause it for a second? I know we're like a second into it. I hate the preview before the trailer.
Yes, thank you, dude.
It pisses me off because it ruins the trailer.
Yes. Like, I don't need a preview before the trailer. Just give us the trailer.
I'm here to see the trailer.
my
You don't have
God.
to sell me on it.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, it's not the fappening. That's something else.
Yeah. Sorry, that was my search engine.
Really, bitch? A cabin in the woods. Now let's get it all in perspective for all y'all.
All right.
You still slave
They
to
really
white
just
men?
did
I'm
that.
gonna start calling
They
them-
did the Kool-Aid thing.
Of course. Come on.
They really
Go
did
back a
the
little bit.
Kool-Aid
Go back a
thing.
little bit. Go
All
back
right,
a
hold
little
on.
bit.
They're
Fresh,
gonna go
you've
into
never
every
seen these jokes
stereotype
before.
they can.
Just watch it, and then we'll talk about it.
You gotta
This is
watch
all
it.
new. You've
Gotta
never
be
seen
Bunch of
these jokes.
sugar.
You've never seen these
What is
jokes
that, malt
before. It's never
liquor?
been done.
Why does it keep doing that? Stop.
Perspective for all y'all enjoyment.
You still a slave to the white man? Y'all gonna start calling my wife the white man, all right?
Newness
Wow.
is the end.
What?
Put your hands up that you shoot with. Count your
But
loot
we
with.
do on Juneteenth.
Hell no.
Okay, did he call his wife? Don't stop calling my wife the white
The
man.
white
because
man, yeah.
Are you still a slave to the? Okay.
Because that's the only way that they structure that joke would work.
yeah.
Because they wanted to say that he's being controlled by his white wife, but anyways, this is a bad setup. I don't like the
And it
construction.
takes place on Juneteenth.
Fuse box. What kind of house is this? No, thank you.
The blackening?
Didn't I call that? Didn't I say no?
Oh my God.
Hell no!
Oh my God.
Pick a card and save Morgan.
What do you mean save Morgan?
Refuse to play.
Who the fuck is
She
Morgan?
dies.
She refused to play.
I think we have to.
Oh, wait till you get to the Trump joke.
In your predicament, the black character is always the first to die. I will spare your lives if you sacrifice the person you deem the blackest.
The blackest?
Nobody should judge anybody in here, bro.
Oh man, I'd be so dead.
Shanika, she say nigga the most.
Nigga.
See?
Wait.
Y'all can't pick me. I'm gay.
Oh, Clifton. Yeah.
I can prove I'm not the blackest.
Prove it.
I've never seen Friday. I voted for Trump.
What?
He voted for Trump.
Yeah.
Wow.
He said, I never
So
seen Friday.
Obviously,
I'm
he's
blacker
going
than
to
that
get
dude.
sacrificed.
Oh, he's definitely not going to die, I guess. No, because it
Man,
has
I'd
to be the
so
blackest.
dead. Yeah,
They're
I'd be so
saying
dead.
black people don't vote for Trump or skip Friday, I guess.
Vice?
Big money, playboy, your time's up.
We need a plan.
Don't say it. Don't you dare.
Don't say this, don't say it.
We have to split up.
Your time has run out. It's time to
The
die.
villain is gonna be a message board incel.
What?
The villain's gonna be a message board incel. Probably had a YouTube channel or something.
He definitely has to be a white dude with the bright blue eyes and the white around his eyes, or they're faking us out. They're trying to make
He's
you
gonna
think.
be an incel.
Oh,
It's an incel villain.
Automatically a white dude.
There's a crazy person out here hunting us. You got Rosa Parks on your shirt, right? Would she be sitting down right now?
I mean,
What the what?
that's exactly what she did.
You could shut up. Made you look.
What?
Made you look.
Hold on.
Why do black women gotta save everyone all the damn time?
Okay,
Yo, stop playing.
Oh.
I got a gun.
Hell. That's too DMX. What are you doing?
What?
Okay.
ever-loving hell is that?
The one joke I really appreciate was him reaching up and
gun.
turning his gun.
Yes,
the right
that
way.
was the only thing I was going to say. I thought was funny.
Sideways.
Everything else seemed very played and
I want to know how Mark feels about that trailer.
Why is that?
Why?
You know why?
Why are you asking?
You know why?
Well,
You know why?
Goddamn Australians
Bro,
don't
I've
get
seen Friday. I've seen Friday After Next.
Yeah.
We are both blacker than that guy.
I voted for Obama once.
Hey yo,
Yeah,
Smokey's taking a
this
shit
is gonna
back
make.
here.
Hey, it's gonna make money, bro. It's gonna make money.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it's
they
gonna
know
make
who
money.
their audience is there. So
I
My
They
first
know they're gonna
cassette
come
was
out.
make a lot of money.
My first cassette was Tony.
Mine, you know what mine was? Mine was Public Enemy.
Oh, I had Digital Underground too.
I actually think it's gonna. I think it's gonna underperform a bomb, or if not bomb, and they're gonna somehow blame it on white people. They're gonna blame it on them for not seeing it, saying that they're a bunch of racists.
Well, we
and
don't
not
know
seeing them
yet.
being
We
victims.
don't know.
No, I'm betting
That's
on
not-
it. I'm
okay,
betting
you're
on
betting
it
on it.
now.
You know
heard
what,
it
Nick?
here.
That's the playbook when they race swap.
Yeah.
All right, this one is
Yeah.
This
being
is straight up.
directly marketed
It
to
is.
them.
No,
This is
you're
a little
right,
bit
it is.
different, you know.
But they got to extend the game.
Also,
now
I don't think
because- think about it.
Elizabeth Banks,
Charlie's
I don't
Angels,
think is
they
a
apply it to
producer.
women.
So
Charlie's Angels, they apply it strictly to women, and they still expected us to see it. They're gonna eventually they gotta expand the rule book to other territory. This is gonna
They
be
will
part of
first-
the new territory.
They will
Watch.
first say it wasn't made
That's
for you, and then
interesting.
they will be
I'm
upset
guessing
that
it's going to
didn't.
open big. I'm guessing it's going to open big. We'll see, though. I could be
yeah,
wrong.
it could be funny, man.
Mark,
It
what are you
just
seeing
has-
there, man? What do you, from your perspective, what are you seeing there, brother?
I think they're playing into a lot of preconceived notions that too many black people are walking around with these days. So, you know, they see something that they can relate to. The whole, you know, playing into the Trump orange man bad thing. You see that in there. You know, the whole tired black people die first thing. You know, it's one of those things that's kind of like a wink to, you know, all of these preconceived notions that paranoid black people tend to have. You know what I mean? So
It's
yeah, go on.
It's all the best bits of Def Comedy Jam from the 90s.
You know what?
Yeah, right? Am I right?
Yeah,
Toxic
it's party
man.
time.
It's all played out jokes, and I'm doing the white guy voice. Nah.
Yeah, definitely.
Bro.
Mhm.
There
Toxic
are dudes
Man
like
Flu
that.
says for $2, hashtag the blackening lost money. Didn't look like it took much.
I'm actually
We'll
kind
see
of a
about
little
that.
interested in it. I'm a little interested in seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest.
The whitening, a bunch of white people at the dentist trying to survive their appointments. Everyone's cavities will be filled until they suffocate.
Thank you, script.
Yeah, he's writing shit.
Thank you.
He's writing it.
He's a real writer. Not
Yeah,
like me.
it's
Or the whitening, where there's poisonous crest white strips that are in the public, and people are dying from whitening their teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like what happened with Tylenol back in the day. But
yeah.
Or Tide
You're no script doctor, so why don't you just back off, dude?
hey, I was just playing off the whitening.
I'm just letting you know. Just letting you know. We were going to go into that California proposal. We don't have a lot of time left, but I do want to ask you about how fucked up California is. I mean, they literally are going, trying to pass a bill at this moment that will withhold new tax credits for Hollywood productions unless they set ethic, racial, and gender diversity goals and to develop a plan to achieve them.
Ryan, I'll go.
Before we get into this, sorry, I got a dip.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sorry. I will. Thanks for letting me come on.
Of course, man. Anytime.
Walton, good to see you. Mark,
see you,
always
bro.
good to see you. all of you. I appreciate you all, and thank you, chat. You're all awesome. Please
Amen,
come over
brother.
and
Later,
subscribe.
Later, dude.
See you, buddy.
Amen.
Later, guys.
Later, buddy. Toxic Man Flew again for $5 says if they
Hey.
really wanted to threaten those people, they would have used a vat of mayonnaise.
Yes.
Where
Hey,
does
real
does
quick.
that come from? I know that was an undercover brother thing. I don't even know where they got
Oh,
that
shit,
from.
I
I don't
forgot about that
understand
movie.
that one.
But real quick,
Yeah.
since Rhino's gone, can we all admit that baby Yoda is adorable?
I fucking hate Baby Yoda. My
Nah,
daughter
can't do
loves
that,
him.
bro.
She has a onesie like sleepwear with a Baby Yoda hoodie,
Oh,
and
Lord.
I have to pretend like I like it. So
You're a
that's
good
why.
dad. You're
well,
a good
dude,
dad, Scott.
that's why I've been training my son, who his 5th or 6th word now has been Yoda. I have pictures of Yoda. They're like they're hand drawn, like little versions of Yoda, Darth Vader, R2D2, and C3PO.
Nice,
So,
man.
yeah.
I didn't know he was still here.
Oh yeah, he's still here. He's lurking, mad. It was, and we could all agree that Mad's in trouble now. You think raging wouldn't let you talk this time?
Can I say this about this thing right here?
Yeah,
though?
please.
It's like I just want, especially Black people, if there's any out there who's listening to this, it's like stop getting emotionally involved in this crap right here. It's like we talk about this in the the Dark Council. We talk amongst each other about this, and they're trying to push through this gay stuff, this LGBTQ thing, and a lot of times they hold up Black people in front of them so they can use Black people to get through. So that racial thing has always got to be there. But look, we kind of like fought for these things back in the 60s and 70s.
Right.
Progress has been made. So the only steps that they're trying to do now concerns the LGBTQ thing. Like
So
I said,
it's
they
almost
try to
like
throw racial in there.
It's like
Yeah.
diversity piggybacking. They're like trying to get like
beautiful.
use you right.
And
that
all
was
too
half the
often it
BLM's
works.
movement.
I wish more people would understand that this is what they're doing, because they're weaponizing Black people, and you see them running out in the streets. As far as that that thing they were doing in Florida with the the African American Studies thing.
Oh,
the
yeah.
AP courses.
Yeah,
it's like underneath
Queer.
all of that, it was a LGBTQ curriculum.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Yep.
I mean, Mark,
theory.
Mark, you make it
Yeah.
sound like BLM's money mostly went to different organizations that were specifically about LGBTQAI+2 -1
AIP.
and destroying the
Bro,
nuclear family.
I've talked about that and being cussed out so many times in my videos because I mentioned that. It's
people
like
don't
people
wake
need to
up.
start. They need to start understanding that.
No,
what
but
these-
there's a reason why it was designed. That's why there's a reason why they mention on BLM's website about the nuclear family, because at one point in time, it was the Black man who was kind of leading the charge with the nuclear family.
Hell
That's just
yeah.
the fact of life. It's true.
The
They were
early
leading the way.
60s,
That's
the
why
Black
they went
family
for them
was the
first.
nuclear family.
Yeah, they
50s
were
and 60s,
pretty much
yeah.
they were the poster boy example of it. Now that's why they went for them first. So that's why they try to remove the dads from as many homes as possible.
Listen,
make the mama reliant on the state.
Lyndon Johnson did not like Black people. I don't give a shit what anybody says, and that's why he was
penis though.
A huge penis, and that not as big as Tricky Dicky, but that's why he started the welfare acts and things like that to divide the family, because it made more sense for the father to be out of the house to make money at that time in the 60s. Like, and anybody wants to say the Democratic Party has ever done anything good for Black people, they're fucking wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, they were the KKK, they were the Deep South. They were Jim Crow. I'm sorry I'm on my soapbox right now, but learn your
They
history.
voted against civil rights.
It did not switch.
When you're talking,
man.
When you're talking about a segment of the population who has had to fight consistently for equality, had to fight like even doubt, self-worth being come at from different directions, from politics, socially, especially, I mean, and as far as my life experience in the 80s and 90s, where you finally had Black men at the forefront, I mean, all Black people, but Black men at the forefront leading the charge of, I am not going to care about what the fuck you think. I am who I am, and I'm going to get shit done. That is that is a very masculine attitude that the higher ups, that the people that control this country do not want to see, which is why they are trying to effeminize them and why they are trying to attack them.
Right.
It's about going after basically the warriors of society. I mean, really, if you look at it, people who've had to fight for their rights and fight for equality for how many decades now? It's fighting against that kind of strength. I mean,
Right.
Black men have shown a hell of a lot of strength in the last several decades for everything that they've helped to accomplish.
Yep. Real quick, Toxic Man Flu for $5 says, wait, Mark doesn't have a watch that squirts hot sauce.
Oh, shit.
Hashtag disappointed.
Damn,
bro.
You know, I watched.
So
I'm gonna hit you with a mayonnaise grenade.
Go ahead, man.
I was going to say I watched Blue Streak the other day, and I'm like, man, Martin Lawrence was always so big. He needed a director, but like, hey, that's cool, bro. Turn it down to about a 7, because there were some really good, funny moments in Blue Streak. I liked it, but he was just too big all the time. You could. It's one of those things where you see comedians in movies that are trying to carry the funny,
Right.
so they overcompensate for it. Anyway, that's just,
Namor.
Not
so
more.
Scott, in
Yeah.
relation to this thing in California,
Yeah.
fine, let them do it, because you know what's going to happen. They're going to go to Georgia and start producing movies there.
Oh, man.
I mean, the
they're
majority
going
is
to
already over there.
sidestep Hollywood and continue to go outside of
Toronto.
California to do these things. Yeah, they'll go
Toronto's
to
another
Toronto,
big
they'll
one,
go to
yeah.
Georgia, they'll go to Florida, they'll go to Texas. They'll go where there is not these restrictions, because a story doesn't need to be told what has to be in it. The story should tell itself.
Yes,
and if those characters need to be in it, they'll be in it. But you cannot legislate it into a story.
Right.
I mean, but Brahma, you don't think they're gonna move that culture over to Georgia? They're gonna start, doing whatever they had to move a population to get more, far lefties in there. Like, the reinforcement of the narrative at this point has become it's always been paramount. We've seen that throughout all the mythologies and all the movies and all the television that have been appropriated by them. So at this point, we have it's just an outright double down, a triple down, quadruple down from California to everybody should know we are using these as platforms to espouse division, propaganda, and hate. I'm afraid that even if they move to Georgia, if they start filming in Georgia or Florida, that we're going to see then a shift in the population as they start pushing more people over there to try and continue this trend of it.
Well, we've already seen that in Georgia specifically anyway.
Right. So it's like, how can we even, if this gets passed, how can we have any faith whatsoever in anything fair coming out of Hollywood? At this point, let it all die. It's about the point where it's just time to let it all die.
Well, that's kind of what I'm saying is they do this, it's going to die out because people aren't going to be able to make movies that are going to make money. We're already seeing that.
And that's where
eventually they're going to run out of the funding for things that do not make money.
Right.
Profit in the end is what drives corporations.
Dude, and I'm sorry,
they're not making a profit.
You can make a movie on an iPhone now. Like the quality of cameras now that you could purchase for under a couple $1,000s, you can create. And why do you think more people are watching us? Not us, but people on YouTube, is because the quality of entertainment sucks.
Look at what Neil Breen has been able to do with his budgets. He's up for a People's Award.
There are some entertainments that are good. Like Mad made the suggestion to cover the Mayor of Kingstown on Wednesday. We've been doing that. We're going to cover, other shows like.
I'll be there Wednesday.
We're going to be there. We're going to be there. Can you fuck me up, Mad? No, but we're covering up. We're covering these shows because there are shows out there, there are movies out there, there are productions that are good. They don't have this woke nonsense in them.
Yep.
They don't get the shine that they deserve.
Peaky fucking Blinders.
Peaky Blinders.
Every Taylor Sheridan show.
I'm so pissed. I'm so pissed that there's no 7th season because of COVID. So they're supposed to end it with a movie, but I haven't heard a lot about it yet.
Oh, it's gonna come out the same time as the Community movie.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Because we need a Peaky fucking Blinders.
Yes.
Every time I watch Peaky Blinders, I want to smoke a cigarette because they make it look awesome. That is good TV when they make you believe you want a cigarette again. God damn, amen, Jesus.
Works on me.
We're going to wrap it up, though, guys. It's been over the 2-hour mark. This has been a lot of fun. As usual, guys, go to Bounding Into Comic if you want to read that article. It was by our panelist, Jacob, from Society Reviews. So give him some love and read it. He really goes into some depth on that article, but we stuck... I'd love every once in a while this show is just a bitch about Star Wars and I freaking love it. I just love. We could spend 2 hours doing it. Mr. Tickle Trunk for the last Canadian $5, and thank you, Mr. Tickle Trunk Talks. Everybody who's sent money over, it means a lot to me, guys. Thank you so much. Risking to being obnoxious about it, I want to push Gordon, a Batman fan film again. Everyone should be supporting unique, well done indie movies. Right. We checked out that trailer here. Like, whatever, man. I just want to support anybody who's trying to make something that's not woke anymore.
Don't just settle for that as a standard. It's like, it's nice when it's not that, but don't let that be the thing that gives it a pass, because you can still have something that be total trash. And believe me,
absolutely,
Daredevil 2003 was not a good movie, and it wasn't because it wasn't woke.
No, but I'm not going to
Did you see the director's cut?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, director's cut. But I'm talking about theatrical. But
It's
yes,
terrible.
man, I agree with you on the director's cut. Man, I can
They're
actually have a good
so
conversation.
terrible. Hi,
Have
I'm
you
Daredevil.
seen the
No one's supposed to
subplot
know
with
I'm.
Julio?
Hi, my
Scott,
name's
answer.
Matt.
Scott.
Stop. I did.
No.
Stop.
Answer the question.
What?
Did you see the subplot with Coolio?
I don't give a shit about
Did
Coolio.
you
Can I tell
see
you?
the Coolio subplot?
Let me ask you this. Well, I
Yes
do.
or
I love
no?
Coolio.
Yes
Let
or
me
no?
ask you this question. Let me turn it back on you.
You
Was
first.
there still
You
a
first.
scene
You
with
first.
Matt Murdock on a goddamn freaking
Hey, hold on.
seesaw?
Hold on. You deflected. You first.
Yeah, he did.
Did you
Yes,
see the
I did.
subplot?
I did see the movie. I did see the movie. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Let's see.
Yeah.
You could just led with that.
God bless Coolio. What I'm saying is, does it still have him on the fucking seesaw
Look,
as Matt
yes.
Murdock?
Oh my God,
Bad scene.
Scott, you had
I
to look
agree.
at the situation he was facing.
Situation.
Oh man.
Woo! He couldn't live a normal life. He was raised by the state.
He was on a fucking seesaw in his suit.
Coolio had to be down for the team.
Yeah, Coolio's the man, but fucking Matt Murdock, come on. Ben Affleck, not one of your best. Oh, God damn it. Okay, thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. Check out Walton. He needs subscribers. Brahmabull, tell him where they can find you, my brother.
1 hour and 10
Saying
minutes?
prayers in the street light.
Bourbon and Boarding over on my Rumble channel on that 70s Rock Fans YouTube channel.
Who is awesome.
I love it when this devolves into a Star Wars talk and Raging Rhino is on here when I'm the special guest too, because then I don't have to do near as much work to carry Scott's ass.
You don't have to do anything to none of us have to do anything.
But thank you for having me on. It was a great time.
It's like trying to get a rebound sometimes. You know, you're elbowing your way into the paint,
and he won't.
There's
let you in.
Rhino being 8 feet tall.
Yep.
I'll be like, hey, Mark.
Sasquatch.
Hey, Mark, I didn't realize you were a white Australian when I'm throwing a question to you. He's like, God damn it. I got to tell you something about Star Wars. That's my Australian. Toxic Man Flu, thank you, buddy. $2. He says, I now regret clicking the link up for this show. Guys, make sure, check out Brahmabull's show, because that 70s Rock Fan, dude, he's on my Thursday night Beatles stream. The dude is an encyclopedia. I thought it would be like a 3-week thing. We did one stream. It was 1961. That's all we got through.
That's incredible, man.
Dude, he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm having so much fun doing that with him. So, guys, Thursday night we have that. Wednesday night we have the Mad Dump, hosted by Walton, but starring Mad Mardigan. And then Mondays might be coming back sooner than later with the Aluminum Spork / myself, Jane Theory, and a couple others doing rereads of the Winds of Winter sample chapters, where the reread is in AI. So it'll be my voice or Jane's voice reading it in AI, and then we're going to go over.
You're going to do White Girl Jane?
Wow.
Because
AI is kind of fast.
Yeah,
it is White Girl Jane. It's a little fast. It is a little fast. Mark, thank you for being here. Check out Mark's channel, guys.
My pleasure.
You know, fighting the good fight, my brother. Nick Weiser.
Hi.
I'm loving the beard, buddy.
Nick, keep holding him accountable. Don't let him go on anything. All right.
I love spending that weekend with you in Florida too, buddy. It was special.
an in-person dump. That was very special.
That was a good time. In-person dump was one of the best.
It was huge, right?
Yeah.
It was huge.
It was huge.
I saw it too. It was huge.
No, seriously, thanks for inviting me. It was good to be back here. It's been a very, very, very long time. I think since Orlando's last time I was on this. So yeah, good to be here. Good to see Walt a few hours later, and always good to see my Dick's Division brother, Brahma.
Oh,
and then,
thank
of
you.
course,
Thank you.
Good to see Mad and Scott. Thank you for inviting, and good to see the Gospel as well. And Chad, thank you all for being here and surviving us. I think it's safe to say we did a decent job entertaining you all. Yeah, I have a channel. I happen to like my channel, and I'll just say that. So you should subscribe to it because I like my own channel.
Yeah, you should.
And we're talking about John Wick for the next 2 weeks.
Yep.
And Rom will be on that along with Mad. So
Nice.
I would have reversed that, but okay. Yes.
And
Just
Matt
say yes,
Cheesemo, Matt Cheesemo,
that's the correct
you're
spelling.
here. You're here.
Yeah. Probably gonna premiere the girlfriend birthday special movie with Mad on Monday.
Nice.
And
Autumn.
There's so much singing.
There's a lot of singing in that one. Hell yeah. Was my fault. And let's see. Oh, I got a new video that I'm going to dedicate to Raging Rhino. It is called "Why the Mandalorian is the Best Star Wars since Empire."
Can't wait to see that.
That's going to be it's so good. I've seen a clip of it and it's fantastic.
Excited for that. That's about it for me though.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much. We're almost at 60 likes. Thank you, because a lot of I've been seeing we're not getting as many views during a stream, but the same people are staying for most of the stream. So thank you so much. Hit the like button, share it out. If you're new here, please subscribe. And we're going to go out with, because I love the song, we're going to go out with the intro to, if I can find it, but I can't find it, so I'm going to talk
Come
about
on, man. This is bad YouTubing, Scotty. Come on. You're better than this.
You just keep talking.
You're better than this. You're better.
Right.
Hold him accountable for something.
God bless you all. Be safe. Have a good night.
Aluminum Sport.